The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports.
And when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie.
Here's the tape. The tape doesn't lie.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Nightmares of Nagy. Empty
Saying that this isn't a coaching issue. No, it 100% is a coaching issue. When you talk about Charles Leno, when you talk about Rashad Coward, when they continue to make mistakes over and over and over again, week after week after week, you as the head coach aren't doing your job.
You're a fraud. You're a phony. You're a fake.
And then Coach Nagy, the only problem I had with what Coach Nagy said was, I think at that time, I at least say you saw it, because we all know you saw it.
Exactly. We talked about that live.
Yeah, I did not see it. I totally missed it. I was looking down when I heard about it.
Yeah.
We went on the air live. Like, what the? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You're just lying again. It's football neglect.
I want to show some love.
Go ahead.
If you ain't, look, as a Bears fan, and I'm going to repost this on my page, I'll make sure I do. Y'all family in this house. Okay? If you're a true Bears fan, if you're a fan of football, just for Bears is my home, and this is where I come to. If you guys want to learn something, this is where you need to be, because the tape never lies, and you better keep it 100.
Need everything out of every one of you. You're getting a paycheck, but you're playing for this team. You're playing for the fans. You're playing for us. And if that really was the be together mentality, then you would win. But because your BU philosophy overflowed to the level with which you control what the media can ask you, because you're too much of a fucking coward, then you've lost the locker room. I don't care how good you are in the locker room, because at the end of the day, it's what happens on the fucking football field that matters. It's called tough fucking love. Because at the end of the day, he is the one responsible to make me a better player and a better person and a better human being and a better teammate. And right now, we got a bunch of BUs out there loafing, shitting down their fucking leg, pussies that are false
Big
start,
plays are nice.
completely inappropriate penalties, stupidity everywhere. It's disgusting, and it all lies on the feet of the head coach. Because as you know, Shayne, the team is a reflection of the head coach.
It needs to be pushed from all levels of a football team that this is who we are, this is our personality, this is our attitude. And if all you're worried about is scheming pass routes, well, then that's going to come out as what kind of football team you are. I know this is where we are nowadays, but there's all this club dub, and if you're winning, do it, right? Do all that club dub, do all that stuff, but there's got to be a little bit of toughness, a little bit of effort on your football team, especially if you lack talent. The jab and jump back kind of had me baffled, right?
Come on, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Jab, and then he
keep it 100.
If you're gonna stand in there, just stand in there and let it go already.
Exactly.
Come hell, you might win, you might lose, but just let your hands go.
Well, Gardner's reaction was just he didn't even fuck it. He's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" That was the best part.
It looks so dumb. And then the penalty.
At least throw an
uppercut. Right, yeah.
An uppercut and a left hook to the liver would work, but whatever.
Playoffs.
I'm going to take this flask and shove it up Matt Nagy's ass.
We are worse than we were with Mark Trestman.
Listen, we don't control your picture size, guys. So maximize the screen on your end.
Woo! TGNL, baby. TGNL. The network, baby. It's the network. The tape never lies. TGNL, the tape never lies network. After the game. Woo! YouTube Live, man. Unless you're a member of Patreon. If you're not a member of Patreon, go jump on that, man. $7 a month, you can't beat it. All the info, all the stats, everything you need from my man, the draft Dr. Phil Toshin, and my man Shayne.
I mean, it's just pitiful. It gets to a point where it's almost laughable how they can do absolutely nothing on offense. It's 3 and out. I mean, we're back to Chad Hutchinson.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
And so the Bears are sending their compensatory fourth-round pick to Jacksonville for Nick Foles.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Chicago Bears sweat. Cold commit. Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now the mouth stuck like the Jew and now and later. Debaters, claws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the upstairs. The tape never lies, the truth you see. With eyes, we analyze so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Hard crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yo, this is Claudio the Barber, and this is Shy City Sports, keeping it 100. Listen, first off, I want to say happy Veterans Day, even though it was yesterday, we were supposed to be on, but happy Veterans Day. Thank you all for your service. And listen, that was a bad, rough game. I don't know what was harder to watch, that game or watching Nagy's press conferences with him dancing around questions like a fucking ballerina. So listen, we got a great show for you tonight. We got JJ Stankevitz on again, second time this year. He's going to come on and talk about the Bears. Maybe we'll get him to ask Nagy a question of ours. And Shayne wants to come on now. That's not me. That's not me. We wanted to get us on the screen and you off of it. Oh, you're on mute. What?
We can't.
That's not you.
You're all blurry, Claudia.
Yeah.
That's why.
You're all jacked up, Claude. Oh my God. But this is a start. StreamYard, our best friend. There he goes.
Unbelievable. Claude tried to do a great open. We had a great open there. Nightmares of Matt Nagy. Empty sets on 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It writes itself, Shayne.
Yeah.
And
it's a simple dive, Phil. It's a simple dive. We run that.
It's a simple dive.
Junior football. But we can't do it here at the NFL level.
We can't do it at the NFL level. We switch. We rotate real quick. Look at that. We get in the right set. We know where we are. We know the snap count. We know our guests. We knew to come in because StreamYard kept fucking up our boy. Let me just let you know. It gets very frustrating. Look at him. He's heavy breathing. No, you're terrible now still. Trust me. I understand Claudio's frustration, especially when you spend the amount of money on the technology and the internet and the routers and the Wi-Fi to do this broadcast, and you get these issues. So, listen, Claudio is going to figure that out, hopefully. Remove himself, restart his computer, come back. But our guest he was in the dugout, and he was ready to come on. already. He saw the open. He saw it all, Shayne. But we always introduce our guests in a special way. And this is how we do it. And then we'll get right into
You thought Mitchell Trubisky was the only guy heading into year number 4 with the Bears? Think again. Some guys just go through the motions. Some actually want to make a difference. This guy will be donating $1 for every Bears game day tweet he sends out to support the social justice movement.
Shayne, I love that dude, JJ.
Yeah, me too. He's putting his money where his Twitter is.
Just be brutally clear. Zero thought of throwing the football.
Yo.
100 crew, stand up and welcome our friend, but not too loud. He's got twins trying to sleep.
I don't know what you're doing with your little friends, but when you're living in my house, we have rules here.
Who's making his Tape Never Lies network debut. Give it up for JJ Stankevitz.
Oh yeah. He's JJ Stankevitz in the house. It's actually your second time on the air. I just didn't have enough time to go back and produce that.
Hey, if you were spending all your time on that Matt Nagy song you had in the open, I mean, I don't blame you. You could have given me no intro, and I would have been like, wow, that took a lot of time. That was really good.
Oh, thank you, man.
That's how we do it up here, JJ.
The full version of that, JJ. I had to bring it back. I'm going to mix it. Empty sets on 3rd and 3. That wrote itself. I mean, he continues to write songs for me. I know you're out there every day. You're getting some shit from the fan base. They want you to be tougher. I've been on your side, but I really think I could see it in this guy's energy. And when I say this guy, I'm talking about Matt Nagy. He just seems to be now pressed up against the wall by himself with nowhere to hide. It ain't Mitch. It ain't this. It ain't Harry Heaston. It's you, coach. And now you have to step up into the pocket and deliver. This ain't the Arena fucking Football League. This is the NFL. And you were out there today. There was an exchange at the end of the presser that really told me a lot about this guy. I mean, things that I thought already, but it confirmed. What was the energy like after?
Well,
but you're not there. Actually,
well,
you're on a
Zoom, obviously. So,
you all stayed on Zoom after that.
Well, I mean, that was Nick Foles had to go talk, but of course he's 30 minutes late, and we had to go do our podcast, so I didn't even stay on for Nick Foles.
Okay.
But I'm glad I stayed on for the end of Matt Nagy because, essentially, so what happened for your viewers is that Matt Nagy was asked in the middle of his press conference, "How's Cody doing? Cody Whitehair? Right. Is he symptomatic? Is he not?" That is an important distinction because if a player is asymptomatic, they can return within 5 days of their first negative test or their first positive test, as long as they are not exhibiting symptoms and they have negative tests in a certain time frame. If Cody Whitehair is feeling symptomatic, 10 days have to elapse.
Oh, okay.
So that is an important distinction. If Cody Whitehair were feeling symptomatic, he would be out this weekend. There on Monday. I don't believe there would be enough time for him to come back at that point. It'd be right on the border. I don't think he would be able to. But if he's asymptomatic, then he could theoretically play Monday. Nagy said, "I have no idea," when asked about Whitehair's symptoms. To which Jason Leisure from the Chicago Sun-Times did a great job with this. He said, why are you not checking in with your player? Exactly. Essentially saying, you either lied to us or you're negligent. And it's one of the two.
Exactly.
And Nagy kind of got twisted, and you could tell he wasn't super happy.
You're confusing me, Jason. Yeah. You're confusing me.
But there's nothing confusing about what Jason
exactly.
was asking.
First of all,
he got caught in a lie, and it would have been so much better if Matt Nagy said to the initial question, "Hey, look, it's COVID. Out of respect, I don't want to get into his status."
Sure,
that would have been fine, and
could have hid behind HIPAA.
Happened.
Could have hid behind HIPAA.
He could have. He could have just said, I don't want to discuss if a player is symptomatic or not out of respect to him. That would have been fine.
End of story right there.
Not be like, I have no idea. Then when pressed, say, call him. Like,
oh, that was fucked up. Come on.
That was like, it was, and you could tell he was not happy with the line of questioning, but it was a completely fair line of questioning that he opened himself up to with his first answer. So you can be as mad as you want about it, but Matt Nagy or someone in Matt Nagy's ear should have said, hey, if you get asked about if a guy's symptomatic or not, just answer it this way. Because what it felt like is that he was trying, it was gamesmanship, is what it felt like. That, hey, we think we're going to have Cody back, but I'm not going to let Mike Zimmer know. Like,
can you imagine Mike Zimmer's going, oh, shit, Whitehair's back. Come on, you know what I mean?
So they're going to play a guy who's experienced playing center instead of a guy who's never played center in his life. Like but like, and this is not, Matt Nagy this year made a distinct pointed effort to become the gamesmanship guy, to become John Fox.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and we pressed him on this earlier in the year when he wasn't talking about injuries. And we're like, what good does this do? And he was essentially just like, it might do some good, and I'm trying it. To which, you know, we're kind of looking around, and it was like, how desperate is this guy? Because previously he was great. His first 2 years talking about injuries, he was honest. He was not honest to the point of revealing something a player would not want revealed, but he was honest to a point where he was giving us pertinent information and not eroding the trust with us. Now, when Nagy says something, you know, how are we supposed to trust it? Right. So that I think is an effort he has made this year that has not gone the way maybe he would have expected it to. And it kind of culminated today with that exchange about Cody Whitehair. And it's a self-inflicted thing. I don't think Matt Nagy really cares because, you know, Cody Whitehair is going to be available whether or not whether or not he lies to us.
Right.
But for the public perception, I mean, someone should tell him how hated John Fox was in this town for doing the same shit.
Absolutely.
Like John Fox, I remember one exchange we had where Hronis Grasu had a hand injury, and it was John, what's Hronis' injury? He has a hand. Can you tell us which hand? It's just like, okay, so you like, at least we knew that was going to happen with John Fox. And now it's just like, we're got to go through this again. Like, you're not hiding war secrets from Iran. You are the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And the fact that we've gone down this path does kind of reek of desperation.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you, because you saw in the open, you were here to see the open I produced, and Olin comes on and says, what all of us, I mean, our listeners are intelligent beyond, so they're very well informed. They know. You can't sit there as a head coach and say you didn't see that fight transpire, and then look everybody in the eye and say you had your head down and you can't comment on it. You couldn't reprimand the dude. You couldn't side with the dude. You couldn't be the leader of men that you're supposed to be here. You talk about negligence. I'm looking at this, you know, I come from a coaching tree, and I'm looking at a guy, forget about the X's and O's on the field right now. I'm looking at a guy panicked and overwhelmed with the job. And if you're in that position with the charter franchise and you're more concerned about getting an advantage of Cody Whitehair playing on Sunday, then you are absolutely doing it wrong. And there's no excuse for how he treated the media. Jason with the fair question. Like, what advantage are you getting? What is wrong? You should know everything about this player. You should be concerned about. We haven't even heard about Cody Whitehair.
Well, Matt Nagy knows how Cody Whitehair's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why not just say that? I know how he's doing, but out of respect to him,
exactly.
We're not talking about
that was the exact back and forth that I had on Twitter after, because I shot out a tweet praising Jason for holding Matt Nagy's feet to the fire about the situation. Then a bunch of people came, it's Cody's privacy, and no, I said it really has nothing to do with Cody's privacy. If you have a man in charge Just like you said, JJ, out of respect to the situation with Cody, we're going to keep that in-house, guys. We're not going to worry about that. I check on my players every single day with their well-being.
I care about my players. I want Cody back.
And the thing is, Matt Nagy does
absolutely
care about his players. This is the thing that I'm trying to separate. Is like players are still playing for Matt Nagy. I think that is very clear with the effort that you are still seeing players play with. Matt Nagy has not lost the Chicago Bears. So why are you like? But then when you say, "Oh, I have no idea how Cody's doing," it's a lie. It's a lie, and also I don't think players really pay attention to this stuff. But like, what if one did? What if one saw it and said, "Wait, why isn't he checking in on Cody? Cody has COVID." Like, what? Huh? Like that would be right. Confusing. Hey, real quick, I see. I want to answer John's question here.
Yeah.
Try to screen what we ask. No, I mean they don't. We get called on in these Zooms and we ask what we want to ask. You know, when I asked Matt Nagy about the Brian Greasy flare-up after the Rams game, he didn't know what I was talking about. This isn't Notre Dame, where you submit questions and the SID decides which questions get asked.
Oh, boy.
Super cool that Brian Kelly's hiding behind that.
Yeah.
Notre Dame also got rid of their very good media relations guy who's on a Roselle winning staff with the Pittsburgh Steelers now, but that's a different story. And this is something that I'm sure your listeners don't care about, but pisses me off to no end.
I care.
But JJ, speaking to that, do you think that Jason's going to get blowback from the organization after?
Fans want to know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that anything that you've ever experienced? Like when you asked,
I have never experienced that when I've asked questions. I think as long as they're fair.
Yep.
I think they're smart enough to not have blowback on it. But as Matt Nagy said, call up Cody, ask Jason.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. Whether or not he did is kind of immaterial to how.
Don't pull a Nagy.
Hey.
Don't pull a Nagy.
Hey, Cody. Coach told me to call you directly. That's how you have to lead off that combo, right?
If it was me, I swear to God, I would have said, "Okay, Coach, you got his cell."
Yeah.
Because I would push back. That was the rudest thing. I mean, JJ, seriously, if you take a stance on a player and you're rhetorical, so to speak, because that's what you do. Like, your offensive line is terrible, Coach. How are you going to fix this? You can't come out and say that, right? Because you got to be a little professional.
Right.
So you worded it a different way. But if it's something that he's uncomfortable with because he knows where you're going with it, like this play call thing.
Yeah.
He's getting agitated by it. You could see it. And the fact of the matter is, to me, a leader of men, a head coach would say, we've discussed this, and I'm going to let you know. If I'm letting Laser do it, we're going to let Laser do it. We're going to do it, and I'll keep it front and center with you. But he's saying you're not going to even know if that's the case.
So we talked about this in the Under Center podcast that's coming out tomorrow, my co-host Cam Ellis and I.
Okay.
And I brought up with the play calling thing. You remember the playoff game, Matt Nagy's last game with the Chiefs?
Yeah.
There's that rumor after the game that
Kareem
Andy
Hunt,
Reid
7 carries.
Yeah. But there was the rumor after the game that it was Andy Reid calling the plays, not Matt Nagy.
I remember that.
And had Matt Nagy not directly answered that question, funny that he was coming full circle in his first ever press conference. We asked him about play calling. Had he not directly answered that question, that could have gone unanswered. The Chiefs and the way that they did things, it did kind of hide it. So I do think there is a possibility that the Bears could hide this to the best of their abilities. But there are going to be so many cameras focused on the Bears sideline on Monday night in front of a national audience. We're going to know.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like we're going to know.
Exactly.
It's going to be Matt Nagy still is going to have his play sheet, But we might notice that Bill Lazor has a play sheet, or John DiFilippo, or Dave Ragone has a play sheet. Cam Ellis, my co-host, had a great idea that everyone has a play sheet on the sideline. And if I'm Spartacus, Mike Zimmer, you will never find out who's calling plays as Cordero Patterson.
Hey, leave Mike Zimmer out of it. He's got enough to worry about if Cody Whitehair is going to play or not, JJ. Let's not totally screw the guy
over. He's got to worry about his quarterback being able to win on Monday night.
JJ, Cordero Patterson's on the field. Who's calling the plays? Zimmer's confused. No. They know Corderell's getting the toss or whatever.
On the short side of the field, okay, Nagy's calling these plays, yeah.
That's the discrepancy. Let me ask you this, though. I want to get this out of the way. And we've never asked you this question, but it's imperative because you're right there. And I always speak highly of this guy, JJ, and you guys know that, you fans. But this is a serious one. So Matt Nagy, go back to the play calling in the first interview. He wanted this job, correct? Yes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
So he knew who number 10 was. There's no, you don't go into a job, pulling fucking rocks out of the fucking ground with a freaking giant machine, not knowing how to run the machine. You know the expectation of the job, right? Any job. You're covering the Bears. You don't go in with the expectation you're going to be the Cubs guy. You know your job. So he knew and wanted the job. Mm-hmm. And then when he got in, he had to blame someone, in my opinion. So it started with the first offensive line coach. Then Harry Hiestand comes in there.
Jordan Howard.
Oh my God. Don't get me started on that. But then it was Mitch. Then he benches Mitch after a bad half. There's no doubt. He wasn't playing up to par. Nick comes in, wins the game. We know the story. But nobody else is held accountable. No one. Not one other player I've seen out there. You can argue Javon Wims. He waited for the NFL to put a suspension on him. He didn't even do it. So how does this guy control the locker room? How does he control this team now that they're going, they lost 3 in a row now. Mm-hmm. Now they're going on Monday night. They lose there. Now they're 5-5. The turbine is spinning. He wanted Mitch. What happened to that relationship? What happened to that story?
So I was asked about this on Waddle and Sylvie earlier this week. When did it really start to go wrong for the Bears? And I said it was the 2019 offseason. When Matt Nagy went from football 101 of his offense to football 202.
I remember this.
Yeah. And didn't work. It straight up, Mitch was not getting it. And instead of noticing that and being like, all right, pull back, hold on.
Yep.
Beepers on, flashers on. Let's change this offense up to something different to fit it to the quarterback we have, who has his own faults that are going to be in any offense with accuracy and decision-making and all that. Instead of doing that, he blazed full force ahead with football 202. And any chance there was of Mitch Trubisky being a competent NFL quarterback went out the window last year. We had Sage Rosenfels on the Under Center podcast in the middle of last year during one of those losing streaks where I asked him, what can they do? What can Mitch do? And I was at the point of being like, I don't think he can do anything. And Sage was like, bootleg, roll out, move the pocket. And it was like simple stuff. Get him under center, get him on the move. And we saw that to a mini little extent at times last year, but never to the extent it needed to be.
Right.
And I think the thing that we've learned is that Matt Nagy, and the start of this season, the Bears offense looked totally different. It looked like Matt Nagy was fitting the players he had to the offense. He was fitting an offense to the players he had.
Yeah.
And at the first sign of trouble, understandably, I do not blame Matt Nagy for the decision he made to bench Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
But at the first sign of trouble, they put in Nick Foles, and then a week later, they went back to football 202.
And he said it.
As it turns out, Mitch is not the only one ill-equipped to run football 202. It's like everyone else.
Thank you.
And that, like, I think this was on the Athletic Football Show where Robert Mays, obviously big Bears fan, we know him. He was talking about Mike Tomlin and how Mike Tomlin in Minnesota, when he was Minnesota's DC, ran a certain style of defense. Like, that is how he got the job with the Steelers.
There you go. It was the cover 2. It was the Tampa 2.
Exactly. It was the Tampa 2.
And he was a specialist in that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And
that's how he got the job.
Exactly. And he got to Pittsburgh and he said, we can't run this. We're running something else. And Mike Tomlin is one of the three best coaches in the NFL these days.
Totally
if it's not Bill Belichick, it's
Belichick
him.
And Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin.
I would put Tomlin over Reid.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm there with you though. I get it. We're just having this mini debate.
Every single year, that Steelers team adapts itself to the players it has, and Mike Tomlin is the CEO of it, and they adapt. Last year, they had Duck freaking Hodges as their quarterback, and they won 8 games.
8.
Like, the Steelers have never had a losing record under Mike Tomlin. And
I love
it's because he just adapts. Bill Belichick, same thing. And Andy Reid adapts every single year. The best coaches adapt. They don't try to force. Sean McVay is adapting right now.
Exactly.
Sean McVay, the offensive genius, who everyone has hired to coach in his likeness and his image, is adapting to what he has. And they're
running Delaware wing T concepts.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're running what Matt Nagy ran in college.
Exactly. And they're doing it successfully because their quarterback, I said, and I'll go on fucking my life, I'll put on it. I think Mitch is a better quarterback than Goff. But they're winning with Goff because they're doing the boot, the run. Get him out, cut in half the field, drop back, 5-step drop with 2 tie and max protect. That's what you're doing. Instead, you're getting this shit. Now you watch. I always send you my series, The Tape Never Lies. Be honest here. If Matt Nagy was the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, and there was another head coach, would he have a job today?
Yeah. That's a really good question, because we would be now 2 years into this, looking like this.
That's
for an offensive coordinator, your command of a locker room doesn't matter as much.
Exactly.
It's a really good question. I'm very much on the fence on it.
Really? I thought
because I do think that if there was another head coach, they might be running an offense that would be more tailored to their players. And I think Matt Nagy.
Well, then you answered it. You would have to fire him because he's not doing that.
Well, okay, if he weren't doing what the head coach says, you fire him, of course. If he were doing what the head coach said and doing that offense...
Well, say the head coach is Lovie Smith, okay? A good defensive guy, John Fox.
Okay.
They're giving that offense to you, Matt, and it's year 2.5.
Yeah,
year 2.5.
John DeFilippo didn't even last a year as Minnesota's OC because he wasn't doing what the head coach wanted. Are you
going to say it? Because I was... do we need Donald Trump?
He would be fired.
Do we need Donald Trump?
No, we're not. No.
Let's not go there.
If I can talk over you, he would be fired.
There you go. That's what I like.
And he also wouldn't. Oh, never mind.
JJ, you were on with us before, and I believe you had mentioned that you don't think that there was. You fully expect Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace both to be back in 2021. Do you still feel the same way if this still continues to trend towards the way that it's trending right now?
Yeah, I do. I think the only way we're talking about this is a legitimate possibility being thrown around the offices of Ted Phillips and George McCaskey is if the Bears lose 6 of their last 7 games. And they just crater to a double-digit loss season. I think then it gets talked about. I still don't think it happens.
Yeah.
And I understand the frustration that fans feel with this. The Bears, I think they moved they made a rash decision to fire Lovie Smith. And then they countered it with Mark Trestman, went, oh shit, this guy's terrible. No. John Fox, we got to tear everything down. He's really going to be here for 3 years, and that's it. I think to fire the coach 3 years in, again, when that coach will have only had one losing season, I don't think they're interested in that. And for Ryan Pace, I think the same deal. And we had a question about this on the Under Center.
Ryan Pace has had one winning season.
He sure has. Ryan Pace also, look, this is fair or not, Ryan Pace had a big hand in the redesign of Hallis Hall. I don't think the Bears poured
JJ. Come on, JJ. Football's the only thing that matters, not Ted
fair
Phillips.
Or not.
I know you did.
I said fair or not, they put millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into this renovation, and they didn't put that money in to get rid of the guy who had the blueprints for it.
But and I know you're in a compromising position here, but doesn't that speak to a bigger issue with this franchise overall?
Yeah.
You don't even have to answer it, I guess, because we can tell. But that's what we've been talking about here.
We've been drumming this so much, JJ.
It starts up above Ryan Pace. You're not going to change ownership. We're not just all of a sudden going to change ownership. But I'm pointing right at you. You have a president of this franchise that doesn't know football. We've talked to Doug Plank himself about this.
Doug Plank,
and he's like,
Gary
this guy is talking about Ted Phillips,
Greg Gabriel.
It's the leader of the. Obviously George is the lead dog, but Ted Phillips. I mean, this franchise is strutting him out on the stage at Bears 100 for stuff.
Starts with Millhouse.
You play the Madden football game. The owner of the Chicago Bears is Ted Phillips on the goddamn game.
I'm sure he wrote them too. He's like, make sure. Don't tell. Virginia doesn't play video games.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if she did, though.
Yeah,
it would. The bomb.
Well, I think about this a lot. This is a story Dick Butkus told us at Bears 100 in like his media scrum.
Nice.
He's telling us a story about how I think it was 1972. After that season, he went to George Halas's office, and at this point the Bears were the Super Bowl had been 10 years old or whatever. They hadn't been competing for it at all. And Butkus said he marched in there and said, "I don't think you want to win a Super Bowl." And he said, "The Miami freaking Dolphins just won the Super Bowl. They shouldn't be in it. We should be in it every year, and I don't think you want to win it." And I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Of like,
wow,
this organization has only won one Super Bowl. They are like you said, Phil, they're the charter franchise of the NFL.
Absolutely.
The standard should be higher for this organization.
Yeah.
But it's not. It has not been that high.
That sounds like a hell of an article, JJ. Gotta be honest.
We need you because listen, I love you, bro, but you are our voice. And look at these fans. I mean, look at the comments in there. We live for Sunday and the victory and the agony of watching it, and then to see it. Listen, I break it down like nobody else out there. I keep it 100 with the truth. What you're seeing, I don't give a shit what he does in the locker room, how he says, who he talks to, who he protects. The football side, where it all matters, the fundamentals, the aggression, the effort, the techniques. Fuck a play call. Look at the way they go after people. They're a bunch of soft. People are begging to have them on their I'm not talking about their defense.
Okay,
I'm talking about their offense.
Akeem Hicks
No.
come over to your house and kick your ass.
No, their defense is the best defense probably in the league. That's what's keeping you in game. How do you think you're going into overtime with the fucking Saints? It ain't your offense. It's your defense. How are you in that game? An onside drop kick at the end of that. You're still in that game. They had a defensive touchdown, the Titans. Think about that. And you couldn't move the ball. You, the coach, decided not to kick field goals. Where you can't even score. You can't even get in the you can't get a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1. You're false starting. You're missing timeouts. You don't exactly, JJ. Imagine me at the presser with this guy. Because I would tell you right now, he's the problem. It's clear. And it starts up top. You have to, if you're keeping pace, you got to get rid of this guy and get someone in here that knows the basics and knows, to your point, was amazing. One thing, what you said, 101, once you saw it as a coach, you have a responsibility. That's my guy, Mitch. I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to pull it back, and we're going to get simple. Keep it simple. Let's be successful and build off that. But he couldn't do it, right, JJ? He couldn't do it. Yeah. And 2.2 isn't working with his hand-picked choice. So,
well, that's the
my
thing.
mini rant to you.
The kind of offense they're trying to run, Nick Foles may be capable of running it, but they don't have the offensive line. Oh. And I mean, to ask Nick Foles to process man versus zone, cut the field in half, you got man beaters here, you got zone beaters here, and to ask him to do that when you got Rashad Coward on your offensive line, when you got Alex Bars playing center for the first time in his life, like when you've got your line is in shambles, and you're still asking him to do this?
7-step
That
drops.
That's what I don't understand. And
52 look, passes. 52.
You talk about, this comes to the head coach. Well, let's just run through who has been quote unquote to blame, right?
Okay.
But
yes.
I mentioned Jordan Howard. He was the first one of not a fit.
Traded his out. Back to back, two 1,000 yards, was second, just give context here, was second to Ezekiel Elliott in regards to rushing yards in the NFL. And Matt Nagy's quote, JJ, if you remember, if I can't use Jordan Howard, I shouldn't be a head coach. That was his quote. Go ahead.
Well, okay.
Jordan Howard, number one.
All right, so we get rid of him. We're going to get the perfect running back for this scheme, so much so that we're going to blow draft capital on a running back. So you trade up and get David Montgomery because you have to have him. Great. Yep. David Montgomery's a really good football player.
Love him.
David Montgomery is averaging fewer yards per carry than Jordan Howard did in 2018. So it's not the running back. All right, well, what about the offensive line? Kyle Long, get his ass out of here. He can't play anymore. Okay. So who's replacing Kyle Long, who you said couldn't play anymore with your actions? Well, actually, we're going to get rid of the offensive line coach because Harry, it's not working. He only developed Ronnie Stanley and Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson and Zach Martin and Nick Martin. Okay, get rid of him. He can't do it.
And two of your guys on the roster, Bars and Mustafer.
Okay, so it's get rid of him. He's the problem with the offensive line, and the offensive line is the problem. We're going to pay $1 million to get Jermaine Ifedi. We're going to have Rashad Coward be our primary backup, and we're going to hire Juan Castillo. Nice guy. He's had a long career as an NFL coach, but was out of the league last year. That's not the coach has been not the fix. So Olin Kreutz has been on this on the Football After Show quite a bit of just you get what you pay for with offensive line, and the Bears are getting what they're paying for with their offensive line. Okay, so also we're going to bench Mitch Trubisky at the first sign of trouble. Makes sense. Mitch has had a number of years of showing who he is. But we're going to put in Nick Foles, and instead of keeping the same kind of simplified offense that seemed to be working a little bit for the offensive line, in fairness to them, we're going to go back to football 202. And it is a mess. The Bears are 28th in offensive DVOA. They're 4th in defense. And what we're seeing is yet another season in Chicago Bears history where they are wasting a very good defense on a bad offense.
Yeah, it's their entire history, right?
The problem is that in previous NFL era, you could sort of squint and win with that, right? Like you could have 2005 as a season where you win the NFC North with a great defense and just a nothing offense. But the NFL 15 years later, you can maybe make the playoffs with that format, but you are not going very far. You got to have a great offense to win in the NFL. And
playoffs.
Exactly. Thank you, Jim Mora. The Bears. This is the other thing I have, and it's so hard to the problem with the Bears right now is it's so hard to differentiate where one problem starts and where one problem ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I look back on this offseason, the moves that the Bears made were done in a way that, I mean, they still invested heavily in the defense, obviously with the Robert Quinn signing and with Danny Trevathan coming back. And Ryan Pace knows how to build a defense. Ryan Pace is a good evaluator of defensive talent. I know Robert Quinn has not lived up to the expectations, but on the whole, I would trust Ryan Pace to build a defense.
I talked about Quinn today. The stats aren't telling his story.
They're not. No,
he is full on effort, giving you those twist games, freeing up other players. They're doing 3-step drops because they're afraid of Mack and Quinn.
Exactly. And I asked Alex Brown about that on the Under Center podcast a couple weeks ago because I'm like, hey, you know something about pass rushing. What do you think of Quinn? And he's like, he's fine.
He is.
Not worried about that. But the problem is that you invested all this money into the defense when you really needed to invest it into the offense. You needed to invest it into the offensive line. And
absolutely,
and I made mention
they lost James Daniels, who looked like he was the best offensive lineman.
Right. Yes, James Daniels, and I think he was probably their second best offensive player behind Allen Robinson early in the year. But look, you're never going to have good backups on the offensive line. That's not a thing, but you can have better backups than Rashad Coward.
Yeah.
The problem I have is that you had this hole at right guard where you lost Kyle Long, who not only when healthy was your best offensive lineman, but he was the guy who would get in there and mix it up.
Exactly.
That physical presence. Olin Kreutz talked about this last year on the Football After Show. Like when the Bears lost Kyle Long and Akeem Hicks in the span of a game, basically against the Raiders, they lost the two guys who you want in a bar fight. Like those two guys are just going to scrap and mix it up and play with a lot of fire and energy. And the Bears don't have that on their offensive line. They don't have that brawler in the middle who I think that's a super important thing to have.
Absolutely.
Maybe that guy gets a couple dumb penalties a year, but just setting that physical tone in the middle is super important.
Can Javon Wims play offensive line?
We need that. Hey, since you're there.
But real quick. They replaced Kyle Long with Jermaine Ifedi, basically. And you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and that was
now the offensive line is a disaster, and you look at it and you say, you get what you pay for, ultimately.
Yeah, but did you think it was a showcase of your GM? You're at the trade deadline. This guy has gone on the record. You need to draft a quarterback every year. I'm under the impression that you need to draft a quarterback every year. Instead, every year we're talking about players with great get-off. We don't get a quarterback. You got to draft those linemen. It all starts up front, guys. Hey, listen, guys. I'm going to do my best Ryan Pace impression. Hey, listen, guys. It all starts up front, and you got to build those lines.
Terrible Ryan Pace impression. What are you doing?
It is. That is.
He's got great get-off. He's got great get-off. He doesn't do. So you talk about Nagy lying. Your GM's lying. Hey, guys, I can't tell you that. You know what time of the season it is. But I can tell you this. So he's never done it, though. And then you're at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. You have this huge hole because you lost Daniels and you knew Cody Whitehair was going to be out. So here you are, 5 wins, 2 losses. You got a chance here. Instead, you do nothing on the offensive line.
All right. There were a lot of entirely fair criticisms of Ryan Pace, which you just mentioned specifically the quarterback thing in the draft.
Yes.
I am not willing to criticize Ryan Pace for the trade deadline because I don't think teams were looking to move players. I mean, look, if other teams are trading offensive linemen, if James Carpenter got traded from the Falcons to somewhere else and it was for a 5th-round pick and you're like, why the hell aren't you giving that up? That would be one thing. There was not an offensive lineman traded this deadline, and there are a lot of teams that need O-line help, not just the Bears. So I don't think those guys were as available as we might have thought a week prior, right?
That's a good
point. I thought the Falcons and the Texans were just going to be selling pieces left and right. Get them out of here because we got to free up cap space and we got to get draft picks now, not in 2022 with the comp pick stuff. I really thought that was going to happen. They didn't do anything. The Texans couldn't even trade Will Fuller because all of a sudden, dumbass Jack Easterby was like, well, if we traded a second-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins or got a second-round pick for him, we must be able to get that for Will Fuller for 7 games. Like the Texans were idiots.
Right.
News flash. And the Falcons don't have a GM either, so they also weren't, looking to trade. The Jets, you want to pick up a player from the Jets. Like, the trade deadline was a dud this year because I think teams were unwilling to meet. So the market was going to be depressed because teams don't want to take on cap next year, and they need those draft picks to fill out their roster. And the teams that did need to make trades were not willing to come there, essentially. Not willing to bring their prices down to the point they would need to make those trades. So I don't blame Ryan Pace one bit for not trading for an offensive lineman. I think you can blame him for not investing in that position in March and April, when that's the root of the problem. The problem is not that he didn't trade for someone in November. The problem is he didn't get anyone but Jermaine Ifedi and a couple 7th-round picks in March and April.
That's a great point. I will give you the win there. I didn't think of... There you go. But there was Spain. He was out there. They could have been involved with that.
That's the thing, though. This is something...
Nichols.
This is what gets misguided with a lot of fans. Quentin Spain was a free agent. Maybe he didn't want to come to Chicago. He could sign wherever he... Just because he didn't come here doesn't mean that the Bears weren't involved.
Yes. Yes.
That's the thing. And people be like, oh, they never looked into Quentin Spain. We don't know that. They could have offered him a deal, and he said, I feel more comfortable in Cincy. I know the offensive line coach. I have 3 buddies that play there. But
you got Joe Burrow there, and Joe Burrow's going to make a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
JJ, let me ask.
Play without all their line. They're fucking putting up more points than Nagy's even
31
dreamed about.
points. Yep.
JJ, this is a big thing that I've been talking about, and what gives me pause about. I asked you about Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy moving forward. So we're talking. You're fully expecting them to be here in 2021. My fear is, we go into this offseason and they say if they make a move for a quarterback in the draft in the first round, let's just say that happens. You're showing faith in Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace actually beyond 2021, if that's the case.
So, all right, this is something I want to get your guys' opinion on this because I talked about this on Waddle and Sylvie this week.
All right.
And they brought up the same thing that you just brought up. Well, if you draft a quarterback this year or 2021, aren't you putting more faith into Pace and Nagy? And I said, Arizona Cardinals took Josh Rosen 10th overall. Everyone got fired after that year. Like, good teams, like Washington should have drafted a quarterback this year. They probably should have drafted Justin Herbert and just started over. And just been like, Dwayne Haskins, you're not it. Get out of here. Like that's what they should have done. If you draft a quarterback 17th overall in 2021 and everyone gets fired after that year, you're probably in a good position to draft a quarterback really high in 2022. And the other thing this is not an excuse for inaction. However, the Bears fire Pace and Nagy after this year.
Yep.
Who's taking their job over the Texans, who have Deshaun Watson, the Jets, who have a blank slate? I know the Jets aren't even GM, but you're competing with the Texans, the Jets, and the Falcons, basically, for jobs. The Falcons, you got the quarterback in Matt Ryan, and while you don't have a lot of room to retool right now, you might later on in the future, but you got the quarterback. The Texans, you really got the quarterback. And you got the left tackle, and eventually those draft picks will come back, and you can build that team around the 2 most important positions on offense. The Jets, again, you take that job, you're getting Trevor Lawrence and a ton of cap space. So I think the Bears would be maybe they're on the level with the Falcons, but they'd be the third or fourth most desirable job out there.
Well, they do have the defense, and you got Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, and Robert Quinn. That's gotta.
But
that has to be a part of your process when you're thinking about football.
But again, defense doesn't get you job security. Offense is what gets you job security.
Well, that's his role. That would be your sell. We're hiring you to change the offense. That's what you need.
But the Bears have no cap space next year. That if you're hiring a new coach and a new GM, you are hiring them to do nothing next year.
But they can create it.
They can create it.
You can always manipulate this motherfucking cap. Yes.
Look, yes, usually when the cap's going down $23 million after this year, like we had a question on the podcast, could the Bears tag and trade Allen Robinson? And initially I was like, no. And then I was like, they might do that because they might not have the money to give A-Rob next year. Legitimately. Okay, yes, you can make room with the cap. You cut Charles Leno and Bobby Massey. Who's replacing them? Players better than Charles Leno and Bobby Massey for that money?
I'll find someone better than Charles Leno.
You might, but
I will. I could guarantee.
But you got to replace. You got to replace a tackle, a quarterback, and another offensive lineman. I think you got to change 2 offensive line spots and the quarterback. Oh my God,
this offensive line is horrible.
Those are the most expensive things you can do. And the Bears don't have a lot of money to do.
What you got to do, this is what you got to do, JJ. You got to hire football people. This coach signed off on extending Charles Leno and Bobby Massey. Leno is
Matt Nagy didn't sign off on extending Charles Leno, but that's a different story.
Oh, do you know this story? Because I want to know it.
It was 2017.
So that was the year before, yeah.
Oh, it was? With Fox?
Yep.
Oh.
But
there you go again. You got me on a point.
But yeah, to that point, though, I mean,
no. Okay, but so a lot of people are saying you can manipulate the cap, right?
Yes,
you can. Yes,
pause right there.
Yeah,
I want you to finish this point. The $23 million down.
Yep.
That is a factual statistic.
It is not a guarantee. However, league revenues are going to be down this year, and the cap can fall as much as $23 million, which would mean that the Bears are going to be currently in 2021. Let me just pull. I'm on Spot Track right now to give your viewers a little look at this.
They're your viewers too, because they absolutely love you. Everyone loves you. Except Swanky. He's a piece of shit. Don't worry about him.
What's Swanky got against me?
I don't know.
Is he the one leaving me a negative comment on the Undercenter podcast on Apple Podcasts? He's saying I'm corny, which I am.
You got great dad jokes. You got great dad jokes.
I do have great dad jokes. And Spot Track is not updated.
There's nothing
Hold
wrong.
on a second. We're gonna get this.
Hold on.
Because this is there we go. You know what? This is okay.
Listen,
but as I'm talking through this, yes, that $23 million is what the cap could go down next year. That is.
Is that because of the no fans in the stands?
Yeah,
Bragg's rule.
It's because Greg Bragg can only go to games in Nashville. And the problem is you can cut Charles Leno, Bobby Massey, Jimmy Graham. You can get rid of those guys. Okay, so next year, here we go. The Bears have $14 million of cap space. That's without the cap going down or up at all.
Okay.
So if it goes down $23 million, now you're $9 million over, which, that's one thing. You can cut Jimmy Graham to make up 6 of that. You can cut Charles Leno to make up 6 of that. All of a sudden, you're in position. You're probably not replacing Jimmy Graham with a veteran here.
Oh, you got Komet. You drafted a tight end.
You did draft a tight end.
You drafted a fucking
get a target.
Where you have to bite the bullet is you have to borrow.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got that wrong. The Bears only have $3 million in cap space next year, according to Spot Track.
Mitch's
this might be with the
contract
cap
goes.
going down. Right. So the guys who you can restructure, but if you
Always.
keep kicking stuff into the future, without the cap is not guaranteed to shoot back up in 2022.
It's never gone down in the history of the cap. It's never. So this will be
a pandemic. Yeah.
Exactly. This will be the first time based on the pandemic. But can you see, like I see, I've heard some things through my connections in the league that the commissioner is going to say, listen, we aren't going to move this cap down. This is where we're going to be, and we're going to continue forward straight from here.
Well, I think the $23 million is a threat that teams have to know is out there.
Exactly.
I think you're right.
Every one of these owners have that in their fucking cushions of their couch. We're talking about $23 million.
It's a line item for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Let's keep going here.
It's a line item. It's nothing. They get that back in taxes, for God's sake, probably.
All right. So by cutting Charles Leno, you save $6 million. Buster Screen, you save $2.8. Jimmy Graham, you save $7. Bobby Massey, you save about $6.5. So all of a sudden now we're talking about
get rid of both those tackles.
The big one is you have to kick money to the future in the Mac deal is what you got to do. That's where you're gonna convert.
Let's do that.
I like that. I love that.
Let's do a little base salary restructure here, and that'll you can probably kick about 10.
What about Kyle Fuller? I know he's got a big deal.
You cannot restructure his base contract because I believe it expires in 2022.
Right.
You could sign Akeem Hicks to a contract extension and get his number down. You could restructure Robert Quinn, but are you really kicking money down the road to a 31-year-old outside linebacker?
Yeah, but can't you sign Fuller to an extension?
You could. You could sign
and
Fuller
kick
and Hicks to extensions.
I would do that. That would be my number one move.
Fuller's up around quarterback territory. Isn't he like $23 million or something?
$20 million.
Yeah. So that's a big number.
We've done all of this.
Yes.
And we've created some cap room for the Bears. Are you going to bring Allen Robinson back?
I am.
Okay, so that's going to take you. You can do some stuff with the money in that deal, but let's say that takes you $13 million in cap next year. You're kicking a lot of stuff down the road still.
I want to kick it down the road with the gamble, JJ, that the NFL is the king. It's showcasing that. Yeah.
Well, and this is where you have to. This is where you have to get. You're getting creative financially, but then you have to turn around and do the same thing in the draft, and you have to. They're going to have to be creative in the draft, moving around, bringing in. Yes, they're going to have all the extra comp picks, all of that, because what is there? We can have like what 6 or 4 6th rounders or something like that this year. I guess they're projected for, or whatever. But they're going to have to move around in the draft to bring in some more, I don't want to say premium picks because you're not going to get them up high, but they're going to have to do that. If you're going to be borrowing from the guys that are currently on the team, you're going to have to entertain maybe trading down. Listen, I don't even like to throw stuff out there like this, but they're going to have to look
and see if never gone down,
and see if they believe in a guy like the chat room's going to blow up here. I know, but this isn't what I'm saying. No, they're going to have to entertain looking at a guy like Sam Darnold to see if you can fix him. Where you could get him for not investing a first-round draft pick or whatever. That's the route they're going to have to take.
So this is a question we talked about a little bit this week, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. All things equal, let's say you got the 16th overall pick.
Yeah.
You can draft the 4th best quarterback in this class or the 4th best tackle. What are you taking?
Well,
That's a great question. Who's my coach?
Same coaching staff.
My God. Then I'm taking the tackle.
I'm taking the tackle too, but I can see how you would want to take the quarterback because
I would with a new
you've
coach.
only taken one. Yeah, you know, okay, but you're gonna take Sam Darnold, Jets cast off.
I like Darnold a lot.
I do too.
I loved him coming out of the draft. I feel like that kid has a lot of arm talent.
But has he been ruined by now?
I don't think so. I think Mitch will leave here. I know scouts with the Patriots, they fucking loved him there. They loved Mitch Trubisky there. If you do the right things with a quarterback, look at the history. Rich Gannon, Steve Young, Jim Plunkett. These guys went from areas where they're bust, they suck, to actual competence in coaching. And there is where you see the talent unveil itself. Is it going to happen here? I don't know. This coach, I have no faith in JJ. The tape
You have no
doesn't
faith
lie.
in me?
I have faith in you. I have
You
no
just said
faith.
I have no faith in JJ.
No, that came out in a bite. Someone would have made that sound like that. I was saying I have no
and then I'm
faith
gonna
in
ask
him.
you at the end of this, why do you have no faith in me?
I have faith in
You're gonna
you.
say, call
Probably
him.
you're one of my favorite guys on
Bill,
the
I'm
whole
just-
media
I'm
strip.
just giving you shit.
No, I know that. I'm saying I'm keeping it for the record. You're one of my favorite guys because you do ask the tougher questions. You do go in there, and I give you shit if you don't, and I hope you expect that from me. But the reality
We'll see in the
is,
text messages that I get from him. Yeah.
but I can't believe what I'm seeing, that this is an NFL franchise, the charter franchise, and this is what it's come to on the offensive side of the football. This defense could go out there if you just dumb it down and get in those 2 tight ends and build off of these things. I really feel like you have an opportunity. The guy just can't do it. His pride, you saw it at the end there, and it revealed itself. He got backed in the corner with leisure. You go call Cody White here. You go call.
I just think we need to have more pride in the Bears than to accept this.
100%.
And I don't think fans are accepting it, certainly. And the organization is going to have to ask some very difficult questions about itself in the offseason. And I don't think that leads to Pace and Nagy being let go after this year. But they're very much going to be on the hot seat entering 2021. And this could be, it didn't take the Falcons all that long into the 2020 season to get rid of Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff, 2 guys who Arthur Blank really, really liked. But ultimately it just wasn't working. And maybe you could say, they should have got rid of him after last season or whatever, but this is how organizations operate. Like the organizations that are talking about, cleaning house are the Detroit Lions right now.
Right.
And the Bears have not got to that point. I understand why fans are frustrated with them. They have not got to that point internally. And there is part of me, for all the frustration with Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, that thinks the Bears have not got there either. And they're kind of right in thinking that they have, this window goes through 2021. Let's see it out. And we might wind up firing both of them a couple games into the 2021 season.
Really? See, I see them doing what Shayne said. They're going to hide behind the COVID and the pandemic. You're going to say, this is what...
They did the best they could do under the circumstances.
Under duress, we didn't want Zimmer to know about Cody. And all of that mess. They're going to hide behind this, and they're going to keep moving forward with this. Now, I've destroyed the narrative on the McCaskies are cheap and all of that.
Yeah, they're not.
They're definitely not.
The
Listen,
Khalil Mack
there's
contract is
exactly.
what you need to know.
And let me make this clear to the fans.
Julius Peppers 10 years before that.
Right.
There's no cap for coaches. Just like you said, $23 million. The old lady can write that off. All of the McCaskies, I told everybody last week, and Olin cracked up. They drive up on the first of the month, and their hands are all out of their Bentleys, Beamers, and their...
George McCaskey drives a Honda Accord, bud.
Exactly. That's why I said Volkswagens. I got it wrong.
Right.
I said Beamers, Bentleys, and Volkswagens, and now it's the Accord.
I'm leading you 3-0 here, bud.
Is it Mitch Trubisky's Accord that he drove all the way?
No, that was a Toyota Camry, 4-0.
There you go, Toyota Camry. But the fact that's what's going on. They don't care about wins and football. They care about the money. And the money, they can sign a check to Jim Harbaugh for, what does Harbaugh come here for? $15 million. Boom. It doesn't hurt their cap.
No,
I'm just saying.
Harbaugh.
I love Jim Harbaugh. That's another debate me and you will have on the next time you come on the show.
Well, yeah, that'll be a good one
because I will tell you a few things about Jimmy H. But the fact of the matter is there's no cap. There's no cap for a coach. So that money gets paid. It doesn't hurt them. Cherie agrees with me about Harbaugh. Thank you. 1 point back to me. Now it's 4.
I'm also married to a Notre Dame and Ohio State fan. So I'm like obligated to talk crap about Harbaugh. Yeah.
Well, there's coaches that are great college coaches. There's coaches that are great NFL coaches. And that's where I feel like Jim Harbaugh, and we'll save it for another time because you've been killing it here with us for Jim Harbaugh. We'll have you on and we'll debate that. But the reality is here, for the fact, there's no cap for a coach. So if you want to move on, I hate when I see these narratives written and, they're paying this coach. They don't care. Get the person in there that's going to win. And unfortunately, it's like what Shayne said and you said. Ted Phillips, all of these guys, you have to get a president of football operations that's in charge. You don't bring in Ernie, the shoe salesman of Corsi, to help the charter franchise find out who they're going to hire. You go in there, you hire a president, Peyton Manning, Gary Fensick. We can go down the list. I'll give you a list of people that are football people. Louis Riddick. Well, he'll probably be involved with the GM. I'm talking about the president. They then go through the list of GMs and hire them.
Don't you think if they say for whatever reason they kept Matt Nagy over Ryan Pace, don't you think that a guy like Louis Riddick would shoot to the top of the list with his relationship with Matt Nagy?
He threw Nagy under the bus the other day.
Well, he has to. He has an obligation to his viewers. Hey, you're talking about the Bears and their priorities, and I just want to leave you guys with this.
Go ahead.
2:59 p.m., November 8th. Tweet. David Montgomery is being evaluated for a concussion. Paragraph at Athletico.
Yeah.
So we're sponsoring brain injuries.
Yeah.
Wow.
My friend Kevin Fishbane called that out on Twitter, and I completely agree with him. What are we doing here? Why are we making money off of brain injuries?
Holy shit! I didn't even know about that.
Guy leaves with an injury, it's sponsored, but like, come on, you're a football team.
Oh my Lord!
Come on.
Yep.
Holy shit! We should have had the breaking news for that one. It just shocked me. It's like Clubber Lang hitting Rocky for a second. What? I got shocked there. That is deep. That shows the lengths with which this franchise has gone.
Guys, I need a beer after this.
Hey, you come on this show, you bring it. You're like family here. You keep it 100. I don't care what anyone else says. I do give you shit every presser. I'm waiting for you because we go live. And I'm like, JJ, come on, ask him about Leno. Can you give him just a straight up Leno question? I'll have our fans, we'll poll the fans to get the perfect Leno appropriate question for you.
Well, but it would be something along the lines of,
go ahead.
Do you feel like you're getting what you need out of Leno, and would you consider making a change there?
Can you do it?
Yeah, JJ. I'm gonna have to review the tape on that. I'm gonna have to look at the tape. But
we got a great get off.
Real quick. The thing that a lot of fans and Phil, this isn't directed at you, but a lot of fans are like, ask the hard questions, ask why Leno sucks. It's like, well, yeah.
You worded it perfect.
And like that's how you would word that question. You wouldn't come in guns blazing and be like, "Why is Charles Leno so bad?" Because you're going to get a very defensive and not very instructive answer, and you might not get anything out of the way that I framed it. But
no, you framed it perfectly.
You have to. There's a way to do this that isn't just guns blazing with the question. And there are times where guns blazing is good.
What about phrasing it this way? Do you feel like your offensive line is physical enough in today's NFL? Kyle Long's brother came out and called him out for that and said he wasn't a believer. Chris Long said that.
That's a very good way to put it. And also, by the way, when you have someone like that behind it, where it's not just me, 5'10" dude sitting in his basement, because unfortunately that's where I'm spending the pandemic apparently, asking that. But it's like, hey, Chris Long, was on saying this.
Yes.
How do you respond to that? Like, that is a way to do it. So
well, how is it? Have you've seen Kyle Long real quick taking these shots at his former coach? They're not jabs. These are fucking body blows.
Yep.
These are real, true.
Did you see the one he had about Trestman and Nagy?
No.
Kyle Long? Oh yeah. It wasn't good.
Can you paraphrase it for us?
Somebody asked him, they said, who's better, Nagy or Trestman? And he said, when Trestman was our head coach, the only problem was our defense. To me, that's a direct shot saying that Nagy's a shoe salesman, like what Phil's saying. I mean, I know there's some, sour grapes there, but
yeah. So when I had the sit down interview with Kevin White back in May, and I talked to him for 90 minutes, and through the whole thing, I was very much on alert for like that sour grape stuff,
right?
Because he thought he got jobbed at the end of his time in Chicago. Kyle Long also thought he got jobbed at the end of his time in Chicago. You do have to somewhat consider that. But Kyle Long is also, he's a professional in every sense of the word in how he conducts himself. So, yeah, when Kyle Long says that stuff, you're kind of like, okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, to me, it says a whole bunch. I mean, Kyle Long somebody asked him about coming back and playing. He said, I would come back and play for... He didn't say it exactly like this, but he said that he would come back, just not for this coaching staff.
Kyle Long has said, I'm not coming back and playing in about 8,000 different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
So, good for him. He seems to be really enjoying retirement.
Well, I love you, man. You bring it every time. You've been on here with us for how long? You started at the top.
Yeah,
You're still at the top, though. See, I don't want to be misquoted by you. I was saying you started at the top of the show. I'm not saying you're at the bottom now. You're always at the top. You brought it tonight. You were honest, thorough. You answered the hard questions. The fans are loving you. You kept it 100. Show JJ's. Look at JJ's getting love right there. John is one of our patrons.
Yeah.
Subscribe. He freaking will shoot bullets for you. The reality is you bring it every time, and you're not going to word it like me. That's why I say word it like you. And the Leno question and Shayne's very good wording of the physicality of the offensive line, I know that will go far for our fans of this show and you that love you. So that would be dope if you...
Edward, no, do not put me at left tackle.
Well, real quick, JJ, before you leave, we will put you on the spot before you leave.
Oh, okay. Right. Go ahead. We've already put.
If Whitehair is back, what is the starting offensive line?
That's a great.
And where is Whitehair at left guard or is he at center?
You're gonna hate this. No, I don't think Mustapher is back. So Leno from left to right. Leno. Oh, you know what? Spriggs is out. Spriggs missed practice today too.
Okay, but is that because it's Monday Night Football though? You think?
No. The Spriggs thing is a little interesting that he popped up on the injury report.
Really?
All right. So if I'm taking a guess, Leno, Bars, Whitehair, Affetti, Coward.
There you go. Leno, Bars, Whitehair, Affetti, Cow. I could do that.
Also, the Bears are going to beat the Vikings on Monday night.
Bull. Wait a second.
Read all about it on NBCSportsChicago.com this weekend when I get my 3 keys and predictions up.
Follow this guy on Twitter. Follow his podcast, the Undersetter Podcast.
Thank you.
It's one of the only podcasts that the Draft Dr. Phil listens to. He supposedly shouted me out on the show.
I did shout you out. I said, and you know what happened is.
See, we have bad luck when JJ shouts us out. JJ shouted me out for RW McCorders, and Phil and I got launched for Barroom the same day.
Not the worst.
It was not. It was actually a great
That's
day.
true. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, JJ.
Okay, so the shout out deal is I was like, hey. Olin said on our guy, and I am so sorry, Phil, but I forgot how to pronounce your last name in the moment.
It's okay.
And I was like, our guy Phil from The Tape Never Lies, it had Olin on and said Olin's going to, or Bars is going to start at center. So you guys were out in front of that with Bars at center. And Phil, you sent that to me, which is how it did end up on a podcast, I swear to God.
I believe it, brother.
It was somewhere in there.
You owe me a shout out by doing one of the questions, either the Leno one or the toughness of the offensive line. Everybody, the thousands of people that are listening.
You know what we say about JJ. You know what we say about Phil shout outs here at The Tape Never Lies, right here.
No, don't.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
That's what we.
You didn't let it play through, man.
We do give a fuck about my shout outs. How do you think this network was built? Anyway, I'm shouting this dude out. Please follow him. Listen to his show, the Under Center podcast, NBC Sports Chicago. He's got our boy David Kaplan on sometime. Cameron Ellis. We want to get him on.
Yeah, you guys gotta get Cam. Cam is low-key one of the funniest people I've ever met.
He'll be
JJ, don't forget for your next time you're on with Kaplan, you called it. He was giving you grief about the 5-1, 5-2. He's like, JJ.
As if I didn't already bring that up. On the last
I'm bringing it up to him. I'm going to text him to get him on the show here.
Thank you.
And I'm going to give you praise for being right and him being wrong.
Well, again, guys, I wish I weren't right. I wish I were wrong.
Listen, you keep it 100. That's why you're the first guy that's come on twice on our new network.
Hey,
that's right. That's right. And
I can't wait to make it 3 times.
You're definitely coming back because not only do I love you, but everybody in the chat does. And believe me, those of these people that are listening later on, overnight, they're going to be holding you accountable too for those questions.
Keep it up. I love it.
I love you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, JJ.
Guys,
we don't need a station.
Blast.
We don't need another station ID from you. I got a great one from you the last time. So.
Oh, okay, great. Well, hey, Phil, Shayne, you guys are the best. Thanks for having me on as always, and looking forward to the 3rd time on this.
Absolutely.
We'll set it up after Thanksgiving.
All right, I look forward to it. All right, be well, guys.
Kiss the
Thanks,
boys
JJ.
and the wife, man. Keep it 100,
You know
man.
it. All right, take care, guys.
Later.
What a guest, huh, Claudio? Claudio.
He's froze. He's still froze.
I'm here. I had a white.
Hey.
Oh, this poor guy with the StreamYard issues. I swear to God. Look at how blurry he is, Shayne.
I see.
Claude, you know what we should do?
I look fine on my
Get
end.
on your
get
get on your phone.
I
We'll text you the StreamYard, and you could shoot yourself on the phone. Where did he go? Listen to me. Put your phone down and shoot it at you like that, and then you control the comments and everything like that from the background. All right.
Look how clear he looks now.
I'll try that.
There he is. Look, I can see his.
He's full HD right there. He's full.
But can you hear
HD.
me though?
We can hear you most times.
I got Shayne eyebrows going there.
We can't even see you, bro. We can't even see you.
Give a dude a complex.
Listen, can you text him the link to his phone, Shayne?
Yeah. I can do
and then we can get him on via his phone. He'll have to get a headset for his phone. I think he could plug in his headphone.
You're asking an awful lot from Claudio here.
I know. But I wanted to get him on. He's got his segment coming up later in the show. I don't know what it's not his internet, guys. It is definitely a StreamYard issue. Trust me, we've done all the homework on it, all the study. So don't blame our boy Claudio. What a great interview, man. With
JJ was great. He was great, and that's what we were talking about, Phil. I understand we get fired up, and you want to hear these guys, but there is a way that they have to handle that. I mean, JJ's right. They can't come out and say, hey, what the hell is going on? You have to be able to, and they know this. They have to craft it in a way that's going to put the pressure on them, like the way that Jason handled it. I'm all things keeping it 100. I'm not a big Jason Leisure fan. I think he has improved here lately. I've talked about that on air. I talked about that from where we came from. But they have to craft it so it is professional, but still hold their feet to the fire. And that him coming out and saying,
I sent you the audio of the video. Did you upload it? So some people didn't see it. Can we get it? Can we upload that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, let's do that. And before we do that, we after our first thing, Claudio, throw a thumb up, Claudio, if you got the link to your phone. he's still not. Oh my God.
Smoke weed every day.
Now look at Philitoshin.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Look at you. You're in HD.
There we go.
We can't hear you the best because your mic's far away.
Hear me better now?
Yes. Shayne, can you hear him?
Yeah, I got him.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm going to do about this here.
You're doing it right now. You're fine. Turn a little bit more to the left. Let's get you on full view so we can see you there. There you go. Now when your segment comes up, we'll use your phone. Now we got two of you. Watch.
Oh my God. We got two of me.
We'll leave that one in the background. Claudio, it's totally not it's the StreamYard web browser.
I mean, it could be because I have a Chromebook. I mean, I have a Chromebook. So you guys have Macs, and so maybe it's just. But I literally have this Chromebook just to do this. So
talk down to the camera. You're like, there you go.
I have nothing else on this Chromebook. This is all I have this Chromebook for. So
let's add our new guest.
We always introduce this guy in a special way, and tonight I don't know how he's feeling, how he's holding up. He's coming back from suspension. It's Cars Keys. Cars.
What do I do with my hands? Sorry.
You can clean the lens on Claudio's phone. It's so.
I mean, let's just not lie. That's weed in the air all around.
I don't even smoke weed. Here's the funny thing, Shayne. I don't even smoke weed.
Don't
smoke weed every day.
Yes, we brought the nerd back from suspension. He's coming back. I don't know how he's holding up. I haven't kept in close contact as much as I should with Cars. I apologize, Cars, but you left a bad taste in my mouth with these mad Nagy.
That's what she said.
How are you holding up with the Nagy? How are you holding up with Nagy now?
Matt Nagy is the Mitch Trubisky of hedge coaches. For everything he does right, he does something wrong. Like, that's just the way he forever will be. So yeah, I mean, it's been tough. You know, it gets difficult. You see plays that are there, they just aren't executed, but that's on the coach. And you see other times where you're like, what the hell was that even thinking? But then, you know, I share them with Shayne every now and then because I know it's fun to poke that bear. But it'll be like, there's Philly running LA running a jet sweep inside the 6-yard line for a touchdown, right? Like, these plays are standard. We just can't execute them, and he's not modifying. So,
all right, I want to do this before we go into bear up, bear down. I can already see this is going to be a longer show tonight, but let's do this. I want you, everybody in the chat, paying attention. That means you too, Swanky. Everybody paying attention. And I want you So react to this.
Yeah, for sure.
When would you like to know? Or when would you like to have a verdict on that?
I don't know. And you know, in all honesty, and again, with all due respect, if anything was to happen, I'm not sure that you guys would know. You know, just
yeah. And listen, it's very important for everyone to understand. There's a big difference between being a coach and being a teacher. A coach that cannot teach is a failure. A coach that doesn't know how to build relationships with their players is a failure. A coach that doesn't know how to communicate with their players is a failure. A coach that cannot adapt or change their scheme to the type of talent that they have is a failure. And right now, Matt Nagy in Chicago is a failure. Kansas City, it's not working. You don't know how to adjust to the talent that you have. I said it all the time on Chicago radio last year.
You're a fraud. You're a phony. You're a fake. Lies on the feet of the head coach. Because as you know, Shayne, the team is a reflection of the head coach.
Fit your offense to Mitchell Trubisky. Well, you didn't want to. So you went and got Nick Foles. And now you don't have an offense that will work for Nick Foles. This is like a marriage. When you try to change your spouse to exactly what you want, it's going to end up bad. And you're trying to change all your players to exactly what you want, because it's the only thing that you know in Chicago. And now this is headed for a divorce. Matt Nagy, as a coach in the NFL, is a failure because he can't teach.
Before we really dissect it, take a listen to what Matt Nagy had to say about this offense.
You know, there's going to be a play here or there where you're going to get beat. And I'm saying everywhere, like there'll be a mistake that we make, everybody, whether it's coaches and or players. But the ones that bother me are the ones where you have the senseless ones with the penalties that set you back 5 yards and make it 2nd and 15, or they're drive killers. You know, those are the ones that, and again, you know, we're discussing that. We talk about that and they're continuing to happen. So that has to stop. It just, you have to get in a rhythm. And in the red zone, you got to be more effective.
Well, it's more than just penalties in the red zone. They began the game 0 for 8 in the third down. How the hell do you fix this Bears offense, Mike?
Oh, first of all, they were 2 for 15 or something like that on third down in the game. And this is the worst. This is historically the worst third down defense in all of football. I mean, so this is really bad and you can't get them. And he said something about penalties, right? Okay. First drive of the game with his vaulted script, BU, Matt, BU, right? He's got that written on his play sheet. BU. He goes 6 plays. He gets 41 yards. They turn the ball over on downs. They can't get 3rd and 1. Now, last year, they're the worst 3rd and 1 football team in all of football. They couldn't convert. They had no power in their offensive line. They fired their line coach. They brought Juan Castillo in, and guess what? They have less power now than they ever had before. So they can't convert a 4th and 1. They try to run the ball. They get stuffed. All right. So, but there were no penalties on that drive. All right. The next play they come out, they go 3 and out, 7 yards. No penalties on that drive. The next play they come out, three plays, 4 yards, going down. No penalties on that drive. The next drive, they get 3 plays, 2 yards. They went 7-4-2 on the drives. No penalties on that drive. Then they come back out. They have a 7-play drive. Hold on, man. You're looking at that sheet a long time when you got 7 plays there. 23 yards, no penalties, right? Then they punt. They go 4 plays again, 15 yards, 1 first down, no penalties. They got nothing. And then at the end of the half, they had for the first penalty, and that was the end of the half. So I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. The first 4 drives of the game in the first quarter, he punted every single drive, or he got lost 1 on downs, but he gained 7, 4, and 2 yards on those 4 drives. He gained basically on 3 drives, he gained 13 yards and with no penalties. So I don't know what he's talking about. His offense is broken. He is not a good offensive designer. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And he doesn't have an answer for it, because here's the fundamental issue. He can't play with power. He hired the line coach to fix the line. And what happened? He made it worse. He's made it worse.
We aren't seeing Matt Nagy put in the type of plays, put in the things schematically that allow Nick Foles to excel. So at some point, we have to look at this team and say, you know what? Offensively, it's not just the player's fault. It's also on the head coach. It's also on the quarterback guru, on the guy that studied under Andy Reid. And here's what I know about Andy Reid. No matter who they had at quarterback, that dude played well. Mm-hmm. Kevin Cobb, Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, Alex Smith, all of those people. And that's what the Chicago Bears thought that they were getting. But they've gotten the complete opposite. No matter what skill set you have, no matter how good you are, no matter how great our defense plays, I won't get a quarterback that can help us win a championship. And that's what we're seeing right now with this offense, because when you have Robinson and Mooney and you have Jimmy Graham, some of these players that can make plays, you expect a better offense when the game actually matters. And we have not seen that from the Chicago Bears, and especially while they've had Nick Foles.
Coach of the year. And here's the thing. They're ruining what I think is the most talented defense in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not saying they're playing the best, but I believe they're the most talented, and they're ruining it with this offense. Yeah.
There you go. There's a lot to digest there. You've been a big supporter of this guy, Cars, where Shayne, me, and Claudio, even the barber, has been the opposite here. This wasn't a attack on you here. But these numbers, these truths, the tape, all of it are pointing at a coach who probably shouldn't be a head coach. Are you changing your mind now, Cars? I'm going to isolate on you.
I love this. Yeah, it's always good when you're like, what's your opinion? Let me go shit on it for 5 minutes before I let you speak. It's always a really, really well done piece. So no, I think I told you, he's the Mitch Trubisky of head coaches. Like that's who he is. Mitch is not a starting quarterback in this league, and Matt Nagy is not a head coach right now. He's going to be back. We should all be getting used to the fact that he's still going to be here next year. But, and we're going to have to suffer through this one more time. But that's who he is.
Well, I couldn't believe you felt that way about the guy. That's why all of this information, basically, as Ralphie and Cherie said, Phil has been saying this for 2 years now about Nagy. This isn't new. I don't agree with you about Mitch Trubisky. I think the proof is in the pudding in Nick Foles with Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, like they were saying, did a disservice to this young kid. And it's unfortunate because Chicago's never been up there since Jim McMahon to draft a guy. And we know what happened. I had Watson. Shayne had Kaiser. You had, who did you have? Watson with me. You had Kaiser. Claudio had, he wasn't even paying attention to
the Mahomes and Watson. I wanted both.
Okay. From the foggy confines of the barbershop.
What did he say? He said he wanted to trade he wanted to trade the first for Mike Glennon. That's what all I heard. Flip it for Grossman to come out of retirement.
He would have traded a first for Grossman out of retirement. Here's the big issue, the elephant in the room. He's starting to crumble, the head coach. I just felt like Mitch Trubisky.
That's a good spot right here. When Phil, you wanted me to load that up, and you're talking about it, and you could see.
For those of you asking, go ahead, Shayne. You set it up.
Well, we talked about this a little bit with JJ today, and before I play it, we're not saying that Matt Nagy needs to give a medical history. The way that he handled this was, in my opinion, 100% wrong. JJ and I agreed on it. He could have simply came out and said, guys, listen, I check on the well-being of my players on a daily basis. I checked on Cody Whitehair. I'm not going to share anything with you guys here out of respect for Cody and his situation. And hopefully you respect that. He could have said that. His answer to me was a guy that's sliding down the rope, trying to hold on. And you could see how irritated he was, but I'll play it here.
Last one, Jason.
Matt, I have a good laugh after the press conferences.
Oh, jeez.
They're hilarious afterwards.
They're good afterwards? Good.
How is it the case that you don't know or don't ask about what's going on with Cody Whitehair? Are you trying to separate something here? It surprises me that was your answer, that you don't know and don't ask.
In regards to the symptoms, you said, right?
Yeah.
You said I know how Cody's doing, but what's that?
I think you said that about another player a week or two ago, too, that you hadn't asked and didn't know.
About what? What do you
about their symptoms?
I don't know. You're confusing me right now, Jason.
When you said that you didn't know if Cody Whitehair was having symptoms and things like that and how he was doing, why is that? Why are you not staying on top of that? Why are you trying to separate that just because he's not available? Or I'm just curious philosophically how you're looking at that.
No, that's not something that I need to get into, and it's not something that there's nothing to that whether he has symptoms or not. There's nothing to that. That's exactly why. You'd probably have to call him and ask him. That's probably the best thing.
See the neck roll.
We got a lot of other stuff going on too, and that's where we're at.
That's going to be it. Thanks,
Watch his
Coach.
reaction here. Watch. It cut off.
That was your video.
That was sent to me by one of the fans. He gets up and he's like, mumbles like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Not happy.
Shakes his head. He wasn't happy with that questioning. Listen, it's a fair question to ask. I mean, the head coach, but just we broke this down completely with JJ. We just wanted to give some context to those of you that didn't see it. You saw the interaction, and at the very end, Coach Nagy gets very upset as he's leaving. It was a showcase to me of his frustration, not only with the situation, but with the questioning. So I don't know. It's unfortunate. The football field stuff, the fights with the receiver, he didn't see that and lied about that. He lied here again. This stuff, to me, is showcasing something has to be done in regards to this coach. It really does. It really does. And that's not even talking about what's going on in the field, because Cars, that was the worst display of offensive line play that I've ever seen in me doing film breakdowns. And I've done them for The Tape Never Lies, my series, for the last 5 years. And this was the number one, without a doubt, how pathetic it was. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it all started and ended up front, right? I mean, you look at the differences between what our defensive line did and our offensive line did. It was two completely different football games.
It really was.
You can't win a football game with Rashad Coward anywhere on your line. You simply can't. The what was it, the 3rd or 4th and 1 play, the one guy who is your starter that is still on this line is one of the worst single-handed blocks on a guy who was like an undrafted free agent, couldn't make his way onto the roster until COVID hit the Titans. And that guy makes a former number 1 pick look just terrible, right? Like, the people that are on this line, and I think I've talked about it ad nauseum, you looked at the Saints game, right? The Saints lined up 3 first-rounders, a high second, and a high third.
Yep.
Last week, we trotted out, 3 undrafted free agents, a first-round pick who couldn't stick with the Seattle Seahawks, who have one of the worst lines in football year in, year out, and a 7th-round pick in Charles Leno. I mean, when nothing's working, right? When everything is failing, like, and you have no answers, because we all know it starts up front. I mean, it's really problematic. And I don't know how in any line everyone went into thinking that, just Jermaine Ifedi was the difference between a good line or a crappy line being average. And I mean, to take average right now would be a tremendous improvement over where they are. It's what happens when you don't draft offensive linemen and tackles, and you don't make the investment, and you draft corner after corner after corner, and you don't draft a single offensive tackle until round 5 or 6. So I mean, it's terrible. It's nauseating.
Let me address this. Swanky, please step back from the ledge that you're going to jump off of, because you don't want to come into the big boys conversation. You have no idea what you're fucking talking about. Not about Mitch versus Jared Goff and now this. As a coach and as a professional, you know about it. So you tell the truth and you handle it with a professional attitude. We broke that down with JJ. As a head coach, I know exactly what Cody Whitehair's dealing with. Because I know and I'm informed with every fucking player on the team. Because I want to win. And Cody is my starting fucking center. So to get in front of the fucking media and say, I don't know anything. What do you talk? And play dumb is saying a big fuck you to every fan that pays for a ticket. That every writer that has a job to do. So don't tell me what I want to do. I'm telling you what is professional. Because of HIPAA laws, I can't go into great detail, but I have checked on them and we're working through. You handle it like you know what the fuck you're doing. That's the truth. Thank you for that moment. God, Tired of dealing with all this little petty pussies. You want to see the truth? That's the truth. Anybody else want to have a question? Be a troll? You don't have to talk about symptoms. You don't got to talk about anything. He's got COVID. He's working his way back. Is he asymptomatic or not? It's okay to talk about these things. It's okay. It's okay to confront somebody who's being a racist. It's okay to stand up for the fucking truth. Don't sit there with your phone and fucking film it. Do something about it. When a coach fucking sucks, it's on the fucking tape. It's on the tape. Now JJ's got a job to do. We handled that business. He's going to handle and ask the question his way. But I'm going to speak my truth that way. I've already said what he's going to speak, what he's going to say. Jesus Christ. You don't trade Jordan Howard out of town. You don't draft Leonard fucking Floyd when you could get an offensive tackle that could be out there for your left tackle for 20 years. We could go down the list with this fucking disgusting franchise. You don't pass up Watson. You don't.
Swanky right here. What should he...
All
I'm going to say is listen to the show. We've talked about it 25 times at this point, bro.
Oh my God. The
seriously.
nerd troll.
We've said, listen, it's that easy that you just say, hey, guys, I check on the well-being of my players on a daily basis.
He's your starting fucking center. You're out there with
out
a
of
guy.
respect to Cody, I'm going to keep that in-house. That's all. It's that simple.
Holy shit.
We've said it 15 times. Text Aldo and ask him. Text your boy.
Holy shit. I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
Listen, you gotta smoke weed when you're dealing with trolls. I've been dealing with trolls all day. Technical issues, people in other countries trying to help me out with StreamYard and internet. I upgraded my internet to like Mega Blast, it's called, cars. 940 Gigablast, that's it. Gigablast. They fucking can't get the signal to my house. They gotta send a tech guy out here to get the fucking right signal. It's unbelievable, the things that we deal with. How about this story?
Wait about this one.
Breaking news. The Tape Never Lies Network. Breaking news.
Oh my God. We got a game coming up after our first segment. I'm just giving you a tease. We're going to play a new game. I had all these patron members reach out to me and they sent me some videos. We're going to have some fun in a few minutes. But first and foremost, Claudio, every week we do it like this. Bear up, bear down. Bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil, Claude, Cars, and the smartest man around. I gotta remix it now, Cars, to bring you into it and bring Claudio. You guys don't get enough love. You keep getting skipped over. I keep hearing it. I do love Cars. I do love Cars, but let's do it this way.
Philatosion, Shayne Marshall, the Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up. This week, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marshall, the smartest man. Bear ups and bear downs of the week.
Yes, every week, bear up, bear down. Bear up is the positive player. Bear down, it's dyslexic, Cars. It goes the other way. Bear down is not the champ. Bear down, Chicago Bears. It's the bear down. It was the player that played horrific in the game, and you got a lot of names to choose from. I keep it 100 there. This week, let's see where our leaderboard goes. Let's get everybody in the right spots. Holy cow. We're there. Look at that. Follow Claudio at TTNL Barber. Follow at Bears Nerd on Twitter. Also follow his website, his writings, giving you informative stuff. And always shout out our boy Cars. Cars, I have a message from Greg Braggs. He was on BHL. He misses you.
Oh, Lord.
He wanted you to know that.
This is getting weird really quick.
I thought he was going to be in the chat tonight, but I guess he didn't do it. Anyway, I always keep it 100. This week, Shayne, we'll start with you and your bear down player. Bear down.
I talked about it a little bit earlier today on our little pop-up show. We did Q&A for the patrons, Phil. I'm going to go in the backfield in the secondary, and my focus is on number 39, Eddie Jackson. Not a fan, man. He's readily available to point out to everybody that he's not getting targeted. Another game, no targets. Well, if that's the case, then you have to make the fucking play when there's a tackle to be made in front of you.
Yep.
And not try to tackle the guy around the fucking neck like he did with Derrick Henry, not twice, but 3 times during the game. I mean, I don't want to take somebody else's way, but his fucking counterpart, the other safety, the same fucking thing. It's becoming an issue now on a weekly basis where the highest paid safety in the NFL is making fucking business decisions because he's pissed off because he's not getting targeted. And it can't happen. This team has a margin for error that's so fucking razor thin that when you're letting a guy get an extra 9, 10, 11, 12 yards, it becomes a fucking bigger problem. Eddie Jackson is starting to do this consistently where he's whiffing on tackles, or if he's not doing that, he's taking bad angles to get there before he fucking whiffs on it. So, Eddie Jackson, you need to step the fuck up, man. You're a huge building block to this defense, and you are my bear down. Fuck your business decisions. Go out there, make a fucking tackle.
That AJ play was just awful.
It's terrible.
I mean, that's been who he's been his whole career, right?
But I think it's even worse this year. I do.
Yeah, I mean, even there was the deep ball that Scream got beat on for the touchdown. He had a horrible angle. That's supposed to be where he's at, and he misread that. If you're complaining that you're not getting targeted, well, I mean, you should have been there.
He had a chance against the Saints. Don't talk about that. You could have picked the ball off against the Saints.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True.
So let's talk real talk with E-Jax. But I totally sign off on that. Bravo to you. Did you say it?
No, I said it.
Okay. Claudio, you are up.
Yes. So I'm going to go with Foles. I mean, Foles just – listen, the O-line obviously has its issues. Of course we know that. But there was multiple plays where he made the wrong decision. He made the bad throw. And, except for the garbage time stuff in the fourth quarter, he had a horrible game. So Foles is my bear down for this week.
Nice. I'm right there with you. People are seeing it. I put it up on the tape, never lies. He had opportunities to step up in the pocket. He's seeing ghosts, and he had a big play to Ridley. It was going to be wide open. He decided. Then he read the coverage.
Big play. It was a touch. It would have been a fucking touchdown. Yeah,
it was going to be a touchdown. That just shows me their personnel decisions, too. Ridley goes in there, fucking 3rd and 18, gets 19 on a deep end. He's getting interfered with.
He wasn't even He wasn't even expecting that fucking
turned
pass.
His head. He's there. Listen.
Speak on that, Phil,
Nick
real quick.
Foles, real quick.
Take a poll with these guys. Is number 88 active this Monday Night Football versus the Vikings?
Let's get a consensus in the chat. I'm gonna say because is this the week that Javon Wims could come back?
No, he has to sit one more.
Oh, so he'll be out there then.
Yeah.
Especially after this. So I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, he'll be out there.
Yeah. Dan Kelly says no. So we'll keep a post of that. A lot of people are saying yes. Steven Tabin, he better fucking be. 88 will be active. There you go.
Swanky.
My bear down is Swanky. I agree with you. It got me amped up for my boy Shayne earlier. Now me. Don't come to the fuck. He's that dude that tries to ease his way in and fucking blows a joke. Don't fucking come to the big boys. Sit at the little kids table at Thanksgiving. Cars, your bear down.
I mean, I could basically choose anyone not named right on the offensive line and pretty much be okay, right? So I think, it's really tough because I really just want to choose the whole entire right side of the line. So if I had to pick one, I'll pick Ifedi just because, he was a first-round pick, and I don't think Coward has any sort of business being out there, but everyone that talks about bend and lack of awareness and everything that people said that they saw in Seattle, that 100% continues to show up week after week. There's always the belief that you don't draft a Penn State running back. I think you should never pick up a lineman that couldn't make it at the Seattle Seahawks. That should be the other addition. So Jermaine Ifedi is my bear down.
It's a good pick. I'm going to go. I wish I had this set up, but I didn't. But I sent Claudio a video of a song. Is there a way you can get that, Claudio? And share it on the other side? You don't have to do it right. No, you do it on your computer. But anyway, I'm going to give you a... Listen, you're a veteran. You know that all of these guys are young beside you, and you have a job to do to help out your football team. To go out there and play as pathetic and soft and lack an understanding, you should be helping and leading these men. Instead, you're out there falling down and playing even worse than some of them.
Yeah, he was all right. He graded himself a C. I don't know what else you want from him. There's some areas to improve, but otherwise, he was a solid C, self-graded. I don't know what more.
Did he grade himself?
I don't know. I just assume he gives himself his own PFF.
Remember
grade.
his grade was see me at the end of the year. Remember that classic one? I think we have that somewhere, but I'm not gonna search for it. I gotta say, it's so disappointing to watch him. And especially when you have these young guys and you've been here in the system, and unbelievable lack of effort and energy. Like, get fired up. You could tell when a game matters to somebody. You could tell when it didn't matter. So Charles Leno, the Walrus, a.k.a. Speed Bump Charlie, you are my bear down this week.
Here you go, Phil. Here we go.
You got it?
Yep.
All right. Let's share it.
There, Mr. Walrus.
Oh, hey, Tim.
How are you doing today?
I'm about as good as a walrus can be.
That's wonderful. Would you like to sing the Walrus Song?
Of course, that's my favorite song.
Okay, here it goes. You're my little walrus.
With a great big bow.
With a great big bow on your little head. You're my little walrus.
With a great big smile.
With a great big smile on your walrus face. As we sit by the pool and dream of stars and the future, we will sing.
We will sing.
We will sing this happy walrus song. I've been feeding you walrus meat.
What?
That glop I feed you every morning is walrus meat. You're a cannibal. Also, you're my little walrus.
With a great big
That's the only thing that's gonna get him tough.
Nose on your little head. You're my little walrus.
I think I'm gonna throw up.
With the great big belly full of walrus meat. As we sit by the pool and dream of stars and the future, we will sing.
I don't want to sing anymore.
We will sing this happy walrus song. You're gonna walrus hell, cannibal.
No!
That is terrifying.
That's Nagy and Leno.
I'm gonna sing that to my daughters at bedtime tomorrow night. We'll play that on YouTube for them to get them ready.
That'll go over real fast.
Oh yeah, that'll go fine.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Real quick, Carr talked about the grades. You know, would you say A+ or whatever it was? This Lance Briggs, I think I shared this with you, Cars, earlier. Lance Briggs does his grades every single week on the Chicago Bears offense, defense, special teams, and the coaching. So this was his tweet. Take off that comment real quick so everybody can see it.
Hold on.
Yeah,
got it.
Had internet issues after Sunday's game, so this actually never sent, but nevertheless, let's compare notes. Offense F+, defense C+, special teams C, coaching F. Well, today is Lance Briggs' 40th birthday, to which the Chicago Bears sent this out. Happy birthday, Lance Briggs. Hope you have an A+ day. So it just goes to show me that things are starting to bother everybody. I think in the organization, you saw, what unfolded with Nagy today, and I get it. It's not that big of a deal, but come on, let's be better.
Well, there you go. I think he was actually being nice. He's being nice. I agree with you. Anyway, my bear up. Actually, we got to play just a speckle of it for those listening on the podcast. Just a speckle.
Philatojan, Shayne Marshall, the Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up.
There you go. Bear up this week. This is a tough one for me, but you know what? Looking at the tape, I got to go with Roquan Smith. Roquan is out there balling out, filling the gap, firing through creases, feeling things out. Even on the last play to give your team an opportunity again, he just sniffs it out, gets out there, and just knocks down the running back. He's physical, especially with a big back like that. He was not looking to grab Jersey. He was putting his face in there, going right at his legs, getting him down. Everything he did in this game reeks of what he's been putting on tape for the last 3.5 weeks. And that's where you want this man, maybe 4.5 weeks. He's been playing tremendous football, and to get, a first round pick and expect them to play a certain way, you got to have those expectations, and he's truly played well. So Roquan Smith, number 58, you are my bear up this week. Cars.
So I'm cheating because I get to after sitting through a 5-minute clip. So you can just
what, the Walrus Song?
I'm going to give the honorable mention is to the guy I mentioned previously. Honorable mention is my 1B in filter.
Oh, there you go. 1A and 1B. I love it.
His Hambright is simply because that was a guy who looked around and was looking for someone to hit on every play. He didn't quit. Might not have done everything right. He might not have been in all the right places, but he was someone that brought something where he was, I remember 2 or 3 different plays where he was literally like, I'm going to just go hit someone. The person isn't where I speak. I'm going to go hit instead of I'm going to go hit the 5-yard line or the hash mark that Leno always does. So that's that. The other one, though, for me is Jalen. Jalen had some really nice breakups. I feel like he's, after a couple games,
I thought he was going to pick that one.
He should have, and that's been my biggest complaint with the backfield. Deshaun had one last week, right, where he went and batted the ball, and he should have picked it off. And I think Jalen the same this week. But I really feel like he had a little bumpy part in the middle, but the physical way that he's going at it, he's not afraid of anybody. He's not making business decisions, as Shayne used earlier with Ejax. I feel like he's just playing the game the right way, and. So Jalen Johnson is my bear up.
Nice. Jalen Johnson, number 33, as John Necrone has pointed out, another patron subscriber. Claudio, the barber.
So since Cars did a 1B, I'll do a 1B real quick. I gotta say,
Poor Shayne is getting cheated.
So Mooney always comes through every game. But anyways, so I'm gonna go with Dwayne Harris, the new punt returner, dude.
Nice.
This dude, when me and Phil are watching, every time this dude catches that punt, he's looking for that extra yard. He's doing exactly the opposite of what Ted Ginn did. And he just, he came to play. And he hasn't had any huge run backs yet, but, he's showing the fire. He's showing the passion to play, and he wants to get out there. And
He actually had a great run back when they punted. That was a deep punt. He backed up.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
this,
right.
Cars? It was right before the half, and he gets it to the 48-yard line, and lo and behold, we got the false start. Leno, hands to the face, coward.
There was a couple there though on Harris. I thought he was a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if it was the first one or the second one.
Risky?
Yeah, no. He caught the ball and backed up. He kept on going backwards like 3 or 4 steps, and then he went. I just want to see him be a little more decisive as soon as he catches it and goes. I think he was.
I thought he's been aggressive.
He was trying to be. Oh, if he's been aggressive in catching the ball and stuff like that.
I haven't had one of those in. Yeah. Tom Waddle, I think, was the last guy that I felt like. Who else?
Over the shoulder. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, they're going over the shoulder. Yeah. You're freaking running up and into traffic.
Had his back to it. Yeah, the one. I mean, oh my God,
holy shit. I really like the guy.
That could have been bad.
Listen, I'm a former punt returner. I tell you, that is a special craft. That's all good. It's all good.
Right, so yeah,
Shayne.
Dwayne Harris is my bear up. There we go. Made it official.
All we need is a mic for your phone. You'll be perfect.
I'm going to start right there. Claudio.
Oh, you can't hear me good?
Huh? You can hear. You're not as clear as your voice normally.
Remember when you used to play in the cup game where you'd have a string to the other? Like, you sound as clear as you're in the cup right now.
You sound like you have a bag of dicks in your mouth, Claude.
Move closer.
Yeah, you got to get a little closer.
Let's hear it.
Even closer. Even closer.
We can't see a nose hair. That's not close.
Perfect. Right there.
We can't see nose hair. That's not close enough.
If I talk louder, is it better if I talk louder?
Yes, it is.
I'll talk loud.
You're talking in a Dixie cup.
Guys ain't working over here in Dunkin' Donuts. But
that's fine.
Hey, can you get me a hazelnut?
Phil wants a large hazelnut, 2 creams, 2 sweet and low, not the swirl.
He knows my order. He knows my order. Shayne Marsaw, your bear up.
Well, I'm going to get crazier. You've been waiting all day for that. He's been waiting all day for that.
That was well timed.
Claudio.
Listen, I'm gonna get crazier, and I'm not gonna give it to the best player on the field, either team, in Pat O'Donnell. I'm gonna go someplace else. Pat O'Donnell had one of his best games, I thought. But anyways, come on, Daniel McCullers deserves this.
There you go.
I
pointed him out in the Patreon version.
Yes, you did. This might be another one of those finds that we've had on defense. 306'7", 352, and this dude is moving around. It's impressive to see. Maybe this dude can play right tackle. Who knows? Let's be honest.
Too tall, Shayne.
Yeah, the Travelizer 2000 is greased up and ready to go.
To play the position. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
No, but I was impressed, and you saw the Bear. He's down. He's obviously back on the practice squad, and the Bears went out and signed Anthony Rush, Philadelphia Eagles cast-off, who's equally huge, and it's going to be interesting. They're putting in some big bodies. Phil, we talked about it today a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see if they have both of these guys elevated onto the 53 at the same time. You get them down there on, in some goal line packages just to fucking occupy space and let some guys do some damage behind them. I'm going to love seeing stuff like that. But I'm very pleasantly surprised that he's shown what he has shown in the limited amount of time that he's been a Chicago Bear. So, Daniel McCullers, you are my Bears up.
Nice.
Or Bear up, I should say. Sorry.
Bear up. You said it plural.
It's very Chicago of you to say it that way. So
Dan Aguirre used to say a Bears up.
Yep, a Bears
Remember
up.
that? He used to put a plural on it. I'm like, it's Bear up. Bear up. Listen, every week you love this show. We have the guests. It's Keeping It 100, sponsored by Shy City Sports, Shayne. Shy City Sports. Shy City Sports. There you go. ShyCitySports.com. Go check them out. Here's a little thing, a little rewind about some of the guests on this show.
I'm telling you, this game of football is determined by determination, pride, the love of the game.
The Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
Hey, what's going on? It's Mark Grody, Chicago Bears sideline reporter, and you are listening to Shayne and Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Hey guys, it's your boy, the Superback Sean Sierra from Sports Zone Chicago, and I'm listening to my guys on the Tape Never Lies Network.
I'm JJ Stankevitz, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
This is Brett Maley of History Channel's Pawn Stars, and you're listening to my favorite Bears fans, Shayne, Phil, and Claudio. They're keeping it real on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Well, this is Lawrence Funk from Funk's Barbershop, Chicago barbershop and barber to the Chicago Bears. I'm here with my boy Phil. Claudio.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
I'm so excited for this, and I'll tell you what, after the game, I'm going to be on with my guys, Phil and Shayne, from the Tape Never Lies Network.
Yo, this is Big Steve Edwards, former Chicago Bear, offensive guard, offensive tackle. You're listening to my boys, Shayne and Phil, on the Tape Never Lies Network. They always keeping it 100.
This is Olin Cruz with my boys on the Tape Never Lies Network, keeping it 100.
You're watching Keeping It 100 with Draft Dr. Phil Atoshin and Shayne, the smartest man, Marsaw, plus Claudio, the barber. Stay tuned for more Keeping It 100 right here on ShyCitySports.com and the Tape Never Lies Network.
Oh, Keeping It 100. I uploaded the wrong ending there. Fuck me. It's supposed to have cars at the very end, but we'll save that for next week. Sorry. Fuck me. Anyway, you can use that drop, Alex Acevedo. I already could hear it anyway. Sorry about that. But you see the hip hop, the beats, the guests. You guys love it every week. Keeping It 100. JJ Stankevitz did not disappoint this evening. Breaking it down, keeping it totally and completely honest and thorough. And I really appreciate it. He just texted me. He had such a blast on the show with us and thanked the fans. Listen, Claudio, you getting that next segment ready that we do every week?
I am, yeah.
Or do you want to do the new segment first? Do you want to play the game? All right. So get first of all, let me give some context here as Claudio gets the dumbest tweets of the week ready. We are going to play a new game this week. It's going to be Carr's favorite game. I could already tell based on the title of this show. Let's remove Claudio. And it's called, I invited all the Patreons to be a part of this, and a lot of them stepped up. And I'll let them speak on what this game is about.
It's a pandemic. Let's have some fun.
No, I understand it. Did you happen to watch a Colts game yesterday?
It's not all on Mitch.
Zero thought of running the football.
Pace deserves the blame.
Big plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
We're the shit.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls?
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls. Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's coaching.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
That is worse than Matt Nagy's play calling. Keep it 100. The tape never lies.
Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play call.
Oh, yes, this game is going to be played by the chat room and the crew here. Things that are worse than Matt Nagy's play calls. Shayne, do you want to lead us off here and think of something that you could think of worse than what Matt Nagy's been calling on Sundays?
Man, you're really putting me on the spot, aren't you?
Cherie could start us off. A colonoscopy is worse than Matt Nagy's play call. Look at her. Patron member there. Someone farted.
Come on,
Claudio. I got a text message.
Oh, gee. Claudio had gas.
Did it sound like a fart?
No, someone was remote controlling his vibrator. That was
wet farts are worse than Matt Nagy's play call.
How about StreamYard is fucking worse than Matt Nagy?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's true.
Claudio. Look at that. Adam Gase's play calls? Are they worse than Matt Nagy, Shayne?
Oh, it's not even close. Yeah.
Adam Gase is pretty. I still am in shock that the Jets even fucking
Cocaine
hired
is a
him.
hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
Rise of Bond, showers in prison. Maybe it's probably a tie. He says. Shayne, do you got one yet?
I was looking for something here to be funny, and now I can't find it.
Oh.
So go on to somebody else.
Jerking off with a cheese grater. Zach Sullivan, Patreon. That is
You
worse.
guys realize that this is to make fun of Matt Nagy. Like, you're picking truly awful things. Like it should literally, like, you lose a lollipop, right? Like, that's worse than the play calling. This is like
It's hard. It's hard.
Cold McDonald's French fries.
There you
Those
go.
are pretty fucking bad.
Actually, my son Devin totally agrees with you.
They are the worst.
Agree.
They turn
They are
the
the
fucking
worst.
plastic. They're fucking disgusting.
Jay Cutler press conferences are worse than Matt. An asteroid hitting the Earth, maybe, is the only thing he can think of.
What do you think's worse?
I think getting crabs would be worse than Matt Nagy's play calls.
Yeah.
Will Hill, venereal.
Forever, right?
I think at this point, watching us try to be funny with this is worse than Matt Nagy's play calling.
I think Cars is very upset with his coach COVID.
Oh, you know what's worse than Matt Nagy's play calls? Right here.
What? Hey.
That's all I got. That's all I got. When in doubt, I got to make fun of Claudio. Cars is choking live on air.
The timing of that was just absolutely.
That's all I got. I'm sorry.
That's the favorite part of the show, right?
But that's why I'm dying. It was so hurtful. I mean, it was.
You know who's worse than Matt Nagy's play calls? Signing Mike Glennon. That is the only thing really football-wise that I could think of that was worse than Matt Nagy's play calls. So there you go. A little fun tonight.
Getting a haircut by Claudio is now my new favorite. My favorite comment. That may win the day.
Hey, people like the new Walrus Song right here, Kevin.
Please let's not do that again.
Once is enough. We're gonna get rid of that like we get rid of this segment.
Well, it's only a one-time segment. It's only a one-time segment. I want to thank those people that
Phil only put 27 hours into that segment.
It only took me about 2 hours to put it together. But it was fun. It was fun. Charlie Leno. The Walrus is worse than Matt Nagy's play call. Anyway, every week, this guy scours the Twitter sphere to find dumb and positive tweets in the world. And Claudio is setting it up. Here we go. I can't hear it.
No, we got it.
You got it? Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm Claudio's new microphone.
How am I going to say it now?
That's how I think we should do the rest of the show.
He's the smartest man. No way he'd let this happen. You'd never have Ernie Accorsi help you find a guy to hire. Be you as the culture. More like be embarrassed. This fucking team is a dumpster fire. He's the smartest man, and this is his dumbest tweet of the week. See how he fades. He's doing good.
Look at him. Look at him.
His mic might
Good
suck.
So, for the first time in the Tape Never Lies Network's history, we're going to do this segment without dumbest tweets.
You're going to skip over them.
We have so much negativity this week, we don't need any more. We're going to skip right over to the best tweets of the week. So, Claudio, start it over. And Phil, you can go to the best tweets already.
Here we go. Here you go. I'm skipping to my next. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, when I was a punt returner at Hofstra University, yeah.
He's the smartest man. In every offensive category, the Chicago Bears offense ranks lastly. It wasn't Harry Heastan, Jordan Howard, Mitch Trubisky. It falls directly on Coach Nagy. He's the smartest man, and this is his best tweet of the week.
So, here's the bad part.
How am I by myself here?
I think somebody deleted my tweet of the week out of here, number one. Unless
Really?
I'm totally overlooking it. Which we
It's
can
up
just...
top, right? Right
Where is
here.
it?
Right there.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. I couldn't see. I forgot. I was thinking it was a video. My bad.
Someone can't see and is getting old. Yeah.
Hey, I got my glasses right here. But anyways, yeah. Eric Sapinski. Hashtag Bears quarterback tandem of Kyle Fuller and rookie Jalen Johnson rank 1 and 2 in the NFL in lowest completion percentage when targeted, a minimum of 45 targets. Number 1, Kyle Fuller at 46.6%. Number 2, Jalen Johnson at 48.1%. Number 3, Joe Hayden, Pittsburgh, tied with Casey Hayward of the Chargers at 50%.
Wow.
I'm not sure if
season is absurd.
Oh my God, that's what I was gonna say. The same exact thing, Cars. As a rookie cornerback, you're at that level. People better get excited about this kid moving on into the future, because when we speak on foundational pieces, that kid is going to be a huge part of what they're doing. The fact that he's up there right now, and he's still very, very young. I believe he just turned 21, like maybe a day or two before the NFL draft.
Right.
Man, I mean, there's not a lot of teams. Yeah.
whole defense, that's super important. We don't have a lot of big pieces, and he definitely has claimed that and has earned it with it so far.
You guys want to talk about what jersey you should buy? I would, moving forward, I think a number 33 would be a very wise investment, because this is a kid that's got the work ethic. This is a kid that's got the smarts, that wants to learn, and he's hand in hand with one of the hardest working film junkies in the NFL in Kyle Fuller, and I don't think that can be understated at all.
I think if anybody buys a jersey, it should be for our new starting running back, Mingo. I think he's going to have a huge game against
Fourth
the
fastest
Vikings.
speed in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
If J.P. Holtz just decides to be at the right angle and actually block someone, Mingo goes for 6. It's there.
You talking about that play call by Nagy, Phil? You think that was the best
No, that
play
wasn't
call?
called by him. That was the special teams coach.
Yeah,
no, but he agrees to it. I mean,
Nagy was so excited he didn't have a fucking play ready to go on first down.
Exactly.
Anybody get blocked. So when he saw JP Holtz not blocking anybody, he's like, "Oh yeah, this looks about right."
Yeah,
I've seen him do this
exactly.
all season on offense.
Oh my God, how that guy has a spot. Like,
That's our
can't you go out and find a fullback? Like, it can't be this hard. There's got to be at least 3 veterans out there that can give you.
It's tricky because of with the extended practice squads. Like when we were talking a few weeks back about trying to find offensive linemen and why they weren't there, like those loaded practice squads have a ton of people, you know, and with how COVID has ravaged everything, there aren't a lot of really big names out there right now. Sorry, Claudio. So what I was saying is there's not a lot of
Look at Claudio frozen. There's too
Let's get to it. Let's go. I'm ready.
Let him finish.
I don't even know where I'm at. No, so I would agree with you, except when I went, and this is how bored I get sometimes. I will sit down and like scroll through the practice squads. There's not a lot of names out there. Everything is thin, and it's gotten worse since COVID. So I think, you know, it's fullback is such a weird position because it takes the right type of crazy guy that wants to do it, and that's usually why you can't have a tight end play the position.
Exactly.
You know, they might.
How many times? Remember when they had Burton here, and then
you would kill for Burton right now. That's the crazy part.
How this is a showcase. Burton actually blocked a couple plays for the Saints. And that's to show you what the issues are. Here's Mike Burton here. He couldn't block his shadow with a fucking spotlight. He couldn't do shit. So to go there and now, so then I just say, listen, this is a coaching accountability. You know, you have to work with players. You got to bring them. Then they had the former fucking tackle that they moved to tight end. What was his name?
Sowell.
Sowell playing fullback, and he did a better job than anyone they've had at fullback. That's how scary this is. So you got to do something there. You can't. J.P. Holtz is.
I think JP might be in. To me, he's been a massive disappointment.
Oh my
JP,
God!
I was expecting more out of him. Honestly.
I thought he had the right temperament.
Yeah.
I thought I would rather see just sign a fullback.
Cars brought up the practice squad, and I don't want people to get excited and go with what I'm saying here, but it makes me happy that they at least brought in a quarterback to put on there. I mean,
Slaughter.
I'm not against Slaughter at all. I was glad that they brought him in there. I think he's a smart guy. He's got some tools. He's a big guy. He can move. I'm interested. Obviously, I'm not saying he's a piece that you're going to build off from, but I like him here, learning this offense, learning these guys. And as a number 3, I mean, you guys know my thoughts on Tyler Bray, but I at least they did something there and I am happy with that.
Horsted is still on the practice squad, Steven. He's there. I'm agreeing with you, Shayne. At least they got somebody that's a quarterback other than Tyler Bray on the practice squad. Anyway.
Speaking of the practice squad, what do you guys think about that guy, Eric Kush? What do you think about that guy?
Well, Kush has been here.
Is in, baby. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Kush was here.
You know who's excited for Kush?
Smoke weed every day.
Claude's excited, doing his own drop.
I just did that just to do that.
doing his own drop.
Eyebrows going.
Be shoo, Claudio. Be shoo. Listen, gotta get a fullback. Kush, though, let's talk about him real quick because, yes, the Bears did sign him. Former Bear, Hard Knocks, you saw him. He came here, and I was excited about him, and then he got injured, and then when he came back, he didn't look like even a half of the player he was. Then he goes to Cleveland. Then he, I don't know where he went after Cleveland, or was he a free agent?
He was a free agent, yep.
So here's a veteran guy. At least you're getting someone who's played the position, unlike Rashad Coward inside at guard. That whole offensive line thing, is he going to come in here and make a difference? I don't know what his game shape is. I don't know where he is at. But the player, he was definitely something, positive. A move of the offensive line to get somebody in here that has starts and has some experience. I think you can't go wrong. And like this guy said, Vince, freaking 17 tight ends on this roster. We can get one fullback, Cars. One fullback.
No. We need more tight ends. The answer is always more tight ends.
More tight ends.
We're going to somehow run a 17 with no offensive linemen. We're just going to trot out 7 tight ends and a center and a running back, and we're just going to go.
They might try that. That's the scary thing. Well, more business. Let's go. This Monday night, after the Bears battle the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football, we are going to be live, me and Shayne. My father has already called me. I said it today in our afternoon lunch with Shayne and Phil, the Q&A, the Patreon Q&A. If you're not a Patreon member, you want more Tape Never Lies, more analysis, more stuff going on there. And free agency, the draft, the off-season breakdowns are going to be better than anywhere out there. Go over to www.thetapeneverlies.com. Sign up. Get yourself ready right there. Get you directly there. This Monday, my dad's going to come on the show. I talked to him on the phone. He's like, you got a game on Monday night? And I was like, yeah. I go, it's going to be late, Dad. No, I want to come on. I go, you must really like... He's like, I really like talking football and breaking it down with you and Shayne and my neighbor. He doesn't even call Claudio. Claudia. He called me my neighbor.
Another show I won't be able to talk. Thanks, Coach.
This Monday night, Bears Hour Live.
It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bar none. It's Bears Hour Live immediately after each and every Bears game. With host Shayne, the smartest man, and draft Dr. Phil Otoshan. Every Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. Immediately after Bears games. Your guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw are live on Bears Hour Live. Subscribe to the show via the Tape Never Lies Network, which can be found on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. It's the best Chicago Bears postgame show on the planet. Bears Hour Live.
Oh, shit! Yep. Oh, shit. This Monday night, Bears Hour Live with your guys. We'll be live, breaking it down. Make sure you bring the hype. I'm waiting for the voice. Claudio's gassing it up. Waiting for the voice. Lawrence Fleming II, the voice of the Tape Never Lies Network. You hear him there doing the voiceover work there. Gotta get him for Bears Hour Live. It was just his birthday a couple weeks ago. He's supposed to come on last time. We keep missing him out. Hopefully we get him. And one other bit of business. This podcast becomes this live show that you're physically watching becomes a podcast. You can find it everywhere. You know it by now. And it's on Shy City Sports. Keeping It 100.
Keeping It 100 can be found on all podcast streaming apps: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Overcast, Castbox, Deezer, and finally, officially on Google Music and Podcasts. It's Keeping It 100 with Phil and Shayne.
Sponsored by ShyCitySports.com. Follow those guys. Go over there. Check out their message board. Comments, debates. People are fired up, Shayne. They're fired up. They're pissed off. They're angry at the Bears.
That's true. Everybody on Shy City's message boards are pissed off.
They're pissed off there. They're pissed off everywhere, it seems like. I don't know. I don't know if they're pissed at Claudio or who they're pissed off. I'm pissed off at this guy.
That little thing I like.
But if you don't know who that is, you're not paying attention. Anyway, the usher has pissed me off, but everybody's not pissed off. They're waiting for this segment, Claudio.
Well, hold on. So, because of my mic issue, should you play the video I already recorded? Shayne,
No. We are taking full advantage of that mic issue.
I'll make sure I speak real loud for this. Let's do it.
We're going to get a mic for your phone. That's going to be Cars' technology update.
I don't want to be doing it on my phone every week.
Well, if it works, it's better than seeing those, Claudio, right?
Yes, I guess.
Someone said your beard game is on point tonight. Your beard
I had to go
game.
fix it up. Fix it up.
Look at that.
Appreciate it.
Beard game. Are you ready?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Hey, sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Sorry. Where is he? Where's my guy? Hey, cut it out. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you must have been at the top of your fucking class.
It's Claudio the Barber.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out. Just cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Man, cut that shit out. Cut it out. Cut it out.
It's Cut It Out with Claudio the Barber. Hey, you gotta let me talk, Phil. Hey, you gotta let me speak. Claudio is going to be bringing a new sense to Keeping It 100. It's Cut It Out with Claudio on the Tape Never Lies Network. Look at you, Claudio. Look at you.
I missed last week. I hope everybody goes on Patreon and sees it because I thought I did a good job on it, even though Shayne didn't think I brought the energy.
No, you were definitely low. I wasn't the only one.
That was after a whole day of work. I was fucking tired. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this shit. So
even Claudio's wife texted me and said, "Who the fuck is this low energy guy?"
All right, let me get my unmute. I gotta unmute the mic. Make sure. You ready?
Yeah. Shayne, are you controlling this segment?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Ready, Claude?
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Coach, this is Claudio the Barber, Tape Never Lies Network. Yeah, is it hot in here? Yeah, you're on the hot seat. Yeah. So, hey, listen, is there an issue with effort with your players? I'm gonna show you some clips.
A.J. Brown, he's a bigger offensive target and receiver. You got to wrap that guy up to bring him down. A.J. Brown, but even better job of Ryan.
I'll never, ever question my guy's effort. Never. I'll never do that. None of it's because of effort.
You're going to see right here Jermaine Ifedi, offensive guard, he whiffs on Tierra Turner, the player who just got called up this week.
I'll never, ever, ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never do that. None of it's because of effort.
Right here in the middle.
Really? How about this one?
You just get beat. I'm sorry. You just get beat, and you can't get beat up the middle.
I'll never, ever, ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never
Cut
do
it
that.
out.
None of it's because of effort.
Cut it out.
3rd down and 8.
Oh, what? 22. Who's the Leno loop? Ready? Watch it.
I'll never, ever, ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never do that. None of it's because of effort.
It's hard for a quarterback to step up and make those types of throws.
Let's see. Is it effort in this
And
play?
here is the delayed handoff to
I'll never, ever, ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never do that. None of it's because
Cut it
of
out,
effort.
dude. Oh.
This Titans defense has always answered all day, all afternoon. They have answered when the Bears have made a play.
I'll never, ever, ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never do that. None of it's because of effort.
Oh, this is
big
bad.
pinch, and now Foles will carry.
I'll never, ever, ever question my guys' effort. Never. I'll never do that. None of it's because of effort.
Last one. Give this guy some time.
Theme here on offense, so that starts with me, and we got to get it better.
That's right. Cut it.
I didn't hear one word. I didn't hear one word.
You didn't hear what I was saying?
Coach. You hold the place down, Coach.
So Shayne, I really think that in this instance,
cut it out.
It's the best you've heard all night,
I
Coach.
tell you, man, my phone mic is not very good, so I don't know.
Yeah, another reason for you to get an iPhone, bro.
Maybe now, I guess. But so you didn't hear anything I was saying?
We heard you kind of talk like you were 20,000 leagues under the sea.
play the recorded one I sent you then. That way they can
we got the idea.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Cut it out, Claudio. Cut it out.
He doesn't hold them accountable. He says he's not going to call out their effort. How do you not call out their effort? I mean, there's a lack of effort almost every fucking play.
No.
Well, you hope he's doing it behind the scenes, but I mean, I don't see how
you don't win,
it's effective.
You don't win the locker room by not holding players accountable. So it really is an indictment in regards to football. I'm sorry. That's this new age. Let's give everybody a fucking prize and not call out anybody and hold people accountable. That shit don't work. And if you're up there speaking it, you better be doing the same thing in the locker room. He's not holding them accountable, Shayne, because to your point, the same shit that happened this Sunday is going to happen on Monday.
Yeah, he might be bringing things up to him, but I just don't think that there's any forcefulness with it, where the guys are saying, holy shit, my job is on the line.
Pissed.
Yeah.
Listen, we've all been in some sort of competitive sport or something. If you've never been in a locker room, I don't know how to explain it other than this. Every person needs a wake-up call. Every person. I don't give a shit what industry, what job you do. You have to have somebody that's on your ass to do what's best for you. Think about that. Just in your life, your job, your boss, your manager, your wife, your spouse, whatever, your boyfriend, whatever, in anything. You need that, right? Then multiply that times 100 for football. That's the truth. If those guys in that locker room want that, trust me, they want to have somebody tell the guy next to him. Like Cole Kmet, he's out there learning as a rookie. He's learning from Jimmy Graham's effort. Imagine what you're teaching now. If you're not holding Jimmy accountable, imagine if you did and you were the tight end. Jimmy, that shit is unacceptable. Look what you're doing up here on the fucking play. We're trying to run Bob and you're fucking falling to the ground? It's unacceptable, right? Now the rookie's like, holy fuck, wait till they get to my play. I know I fucked up. The next time he's like, I gotta fucking do my job. And that's That's why it's so important. Shayne, you said it, and you know I've always said it. You got to have someone who's maniacal. Everything, every inch, every fucking fundamental thing matters to the point where they're on your ass, to the point where they hate you. They hate you. And then they learn, no, I love that man because he has my best interest. And that's what's not going. And that's where that clip is brilliant, Claudia. Your mic might have sucked, but the reality was you put it to the record there. I didn't even hear him say that.
I said it before. Coaching is like being a parent. You know, one of my daughter's grades, their grades right now, you know, they're slipping a little bit with COVID and all this stuff. But also, I'm like, you're not putting in the effort. You're on your phone fucking with TikTok instead of doing your work. So you need to put the fucking effort in. Okay? So it's the same thing. And just like you said, they don't like me. I'm annoying because I'm harping on it. But you know what? In the end, they're going to know and they're going to have better grades and they're going to thank me for it later. So it's coaching is just like being a parent. It really is.
Anybody could be a troll. Anybody can take shots. When the spotlight is on you, how do you handle it? A lot of people crumble. Anybody could be a tough guy here. Give me my keyboard. Let me be a tough guy. Anybody could do that. You put your name to it. Shayne's right here. Phil's right here. I'm speaking it. You're listening. We're talking. I don't fucking play pussification of America. I'm going to be hard on my kids. I was hard on the football field with 5 and 7-year-olds. No one's going to change me. And that's the reality. That's what needs to happen there. I was hoping 2.0 or 202, as JJ said, was going to be Coach Nagy cracking the whip. These are my guys. This is my offense. Juan Castillo's coming in here. But it's been the complete, utter opposite. Let's be honest. Whether you want to see it as soft as puppy shit out there, or you want to see, players fighting, and that's your showcase of toughness, the fucking fundamentals are lost, or that defense that's tremendous, and Roquan and the corners, and you guys holding these safeties accountable, Pagano. It's got to happen. It's in order to turn this around, you're 5-4. You're going up against your division rivals. Monday Night Football, the national stage. We've heard this story how many times when the Bears go out on the national stage and they fucking piss down their fucking pants and they get embarrassed. And that's where coaches get fired. That's if that shit that you put on the field, and one of our fans put up what the fucking Colts are putting up against the same Tennessee Titans. 422 yards of offense, this, that, and the other. Our Bears can't even fucking move across midfield. Monday Night Football, we're going to find out who Coach Nagy is. Plenty of time. COVID, white hair, distractions, all of it. You're the head coach. Prove it on Monday night. Tell me, I'm going to grade you, Nagy. Unbiased. No fucking bias. I promise you. Everybody will be in agreement. I want to know your assessment of the coach and the game plan of how to attack the Vikings and how they go after it. That's my little mini rant here about Claudio's Cut It Out segment. Got me fired up. That's your job. You got to be on top because that shit's JV football on a Saturday morning. That's what I said. You know what that is? When you got a bunch of seniors that weren't good enough to play varsity, but you as a coach want to see them successful. They got to get game reps. Reps are important, right, Shayne? And they go out there and they try their best, and their mom and dad could watch them play a game, but they're just not good enough. And that's what you saw on Sunday. Just lack of effort, totally discombobulated offense. I've never seen anything like it. Unbelievable. Everyone's in silence. Claudia, you got any more cut it outs?
No, that's it. That was
one long cut it out. Look at that. Shayne's favorite.
That's it.
The Cherie segment coming up. We're still working on a song for this, an intro. Shayne knows I put in too much effort to the Matt Nagy things are worse. Got to get one for the Cherie bold predictions. Patron member. Look at this guy. Patron member number 23. Number 23. I don't know what Tony's. Give Nagy COVID. You don't want to do that, Tony. Come on.
Be better, bro.
Be better than that. I'm not a big Nagy supporter or fan, but I wouldn't wish that on him. Anyway, predictions. Who wants to start us off tonight? I say Cars, keys. Prediction for the game and your bold prediction.
So this one's going to be fun. Minnesota, now that they've traded Yannick, has no pass rush whatsoever. So of the 16 sacks they have as a team, 5 of those are Yannick. They can't generate the rush.
Kind of like the Titans.
They have no defensive backs. Their corners, their rookie corners, like what is it? The QBR ratings against them are both over 100. They're all completing 70% of the passes. Like the defense is terrible. If you stop, the biggest thing I'll say is you got to stop Cook, but more than anything, Jefferson is the engine right now that's making them go. So I never. There are 2 things you never draft a Penn State running back, and never bet on Kirk Cousins as a starting quarterback in prime time. So with how bad their offensive line has been in pass protection, how good we looked against Henry this last week, I really just think they're going to tee up and just kind of rip his head off. So while I expect us to score 21 points, I expect most of those to be caused by the defense, short fields.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect 21-13 the Bears. My bold prediction...
Wow.
My bold prediction is that Roquan has a pick 6.
You fucker.
Roquan with a pick 6. If he only would have done that against the Saints.
He's been close the last 2 weeks. He's had plays in each of the last 2 weeks where he probably should have and could have. So I feel like, Kirk Cousins is someone that you kind of get healthy against. So
we got predictions rolling in by the fans. Our boy. There he is, Andre Witt. Go City, say it loud. Go City, say it loud. All caps, 22-17.
Make sure that dude on Twitter, I tried hooking you up. He wants to hook you up with the Patreon. So
is he not able to come on tonight, the dude?
No, I told you. He said next week he can come on, though. Dustin. Right. His name is Dustin.
Dustin.
Oh.
Yeah.
My son?
Car's ears perked up.
My son?
Yeah, that's his name. Your son wants to pay for Andre's Patreon.
That's definitely not my kid, I could tell you that. He's not anybody.
We got predictions rolling in. 23-22. Jeffrey Burton, patron number 4, Shayne. How does he forget number 4?
No. Burton's number 2.
Number 2?
Number
It's even
2.
worse that he forgot his number.
Yeah.
Come on, Jeff. You're number 2. Unbelievable. We got 23-2. We got Cherie, Willie, Mookie Hill up in here. All these patrons. Otis Nichols. Anyway. Claudio.
Yeah.
Your prediction.
Yeah. My prediction of the game is I think our defense is going to keep us in it again, like they usually do. I think it's going to be close, but I think we're going to squeak it out. I think it's going to be about, say, 20-14 Bears.
20-14.
20-14. And my bold prediction is my man Mooney. I'm going to get specific. He's going to go over 100 yards, 8 catches for 110. But over 100. He's going to go over 100. That's my bold prediction.
When you close your eyes at night, is Mooney all you see?
Yeah. I love me some Mooney.
You wake up kind of levitating off the bed because he took 197 yards to the house in a dream.
You know what? I will now. Now that you put it in my head, I will now.
Excellent.
But dude,
playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
How do you not love this kid? I mean, from day one, this kid has brought it. And then in his first press conference, I saw him, man, that confidence he exuded, and just he knows he's not, the game is not too big for him, and he just comes to play every week. So, he's my boy, definitely. So yeah, there you go. That's my bold prediction.
8 catches, 110 yards. He doesn't get a touchdown though, huh?
Well, yeah, we'll throw a touchdown in there. Why not? Fuck it.
All right,
my main thing is 100 yards, so that's what I want to come. That's my bold prediction. So.
All right, we had we had 2 100-yard receiving weeks, right? Allen Robinson twice.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Has any other
Mooney
receiver
had like
going
80 one week? He had 80 something 1 week, I think.
Yeah, Mooney has been, to me, say what you want with Ryan Pace. He finds these guys, Jalen Johnson and Darnell Mooney. If you were going to tell me, I going back in that draft with Cole Kmet, I wanted KJ Hamler. I wanted Hamler. And Mooney has fit, that part of what I wanted to draft. Mooney.
I like that. The Mooney.
He's getting that tattoo.
This could
That's
be a
happening.
t-shirt.
The Mooney.
This could be a tattoo.
He's getting
or
that
a
tattoo.
t-shirt. the Claudio Mooney. Those of you watching can see it. Those of you listening at home and your drive, Shayne has made a big giant full moon with Claudio's face on the front, overlooking a mountain. Is it a double moon there? Look at this. There's a double moon.
That's smoke coming out of Claudio's lips.
Oh, okay. It's crazy. There's so many moons. The tape never lies. Oh, you gotta love it. Tape Never Lies Network. Go to the www.thetapeneverlies.com and sign up to be a Patreon. Do that. Let's get the number to 500 so we can have the full patron show. Also, make sure you follow at Bears Nerd Cars. Get his stories, get his writings and his analysis. Top shelf stuff. Always bringing it. That's why he's here on the show. Also, follow this guy, the Walrus. No, don't follow. Here we go. Shayne Marsaw, your prediction and bold prediction.
Did we just boot Cars?
I think he left. I'll wait till he comes back, but we'll keep the show. Claudio looks so clear. Look at him.
It does. It's
like a whole... Can you hear me better? Or am I still muffled?
You're still muffled.
Because
okay,
you
so
don't
just
have headphones or earbuds.
Yeah.
Something like that will alleviate the problem. Because your phone is going to be your backup to your... Or you might have to upgrade the computer.
Yeah, I have headphones. I have some headphones that have a microphone on them, so I don't have.
I can also let you try my Apple laptop. I'm gonna let you take it and see if it works for you there.
All right.
We'll try that out next. We could try it out this Sunday. I mean Monday night.
Yeah, for
see
BHL.
how it works for BHL.
Yes.
One other quick bit of business, Shayne, before you do your prediction. Our guys over at Chi City Sports do a podcast after every Bears game. I don't know. Do they go late at night?
Yeah, they're usually around...
No, I mean on Monday night. They'll probably do it the next day.
Yeah.
I got to ask them.
Yeah, and one thing, Phil, we want to make sure that everybody knows is Keeping It 100 next week. It's going to be a week from tonight. We're not going to be Wednesday next week. I have some work things that I have to take care of.
You work?
And yeah, can you believe that? Can you believe that? But the NBA draft is next week, and I know there's not everybody's just Bears fans. That's going to be a big draft for the Chicago Bulls also, so I know Cars and I will be very involved in that when that kicks off. So we're going to push it off a night until next Thursday night, and that's when
we'll be back
we'll
right here next Thursday. It'll give me time to produce some and fix the Cars thing. I can't believe I fucked that up. It's going to bother me. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm ranting. Anyway, what I was saying, Steven Johnson and Nick Biting. Check them out on the Bearfront Podcast, ShyCitySports.com.
Shy City Sports.
Hey, it's Steven.
And Nick from the Bearfront Podcast from ShyCitySports.com.
Every week, join us for in-depth Bears talk as we break down the matchups ahead of each week's game.
And join us following every game for what we saw and what we wish we had seen on the Hurry Up Recap.
So subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and stay tuned to ShyCitySports.com for the latest from the Bearfront Podcast. And now, back to Keepin' It 100 with Draft Dr. Phil Atoshin and Shayne, the smartest man Marsaw.
Shy City Sports, Bearfront Podcast. Look at that. We do it professionally here. Cars is back. Look at him. He's got his keys. Even
Missed
though he
you,
doesn't
Cars.
have any.
I missed you, man. I missed you.
I was just 3 feet away. That's what happens when you have way too much Tito's before and during a show.
Listen, where's your this?
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
Your weed, Cars. It's legal in the state of Illinois. I'm surprised you're not sitting there just smoking a nice fatty.
He's an edible guy.
I'm an edible guy.
Oh, you are an edible guy.
Yeah, I'm not a big smoker. The edible's nice and easy.
So what's your go-to edible? Because Alex Acevedo was talking about a gummy bear, and he got lost in a forest and couldn't find his way home.
There's always a good story with that. It's the most dangerous thing is like you take one in 15 minutes, you're like, and that was weak. I'll take one more. And then you're like 30 minutes later, you're like paralyzed on the couch, hallucinating, and you're like, when did we get a 3D television? And it's not even on. So those are always the
what's your strain of choice? Are you more of a hybrid? What do you do?
My wife goes so I don't lose my FOID card. It's the most Illinois thing possible. So she gets some like relaxing sleep
sativa. What's the other one?
I have no idea.
Indica.
I trust her, and she just goes, "You take this, and this will help put you to bed." That's what I take.
So you like the sleepy time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because the tea doesn't do shit for you. You're more of a sleep. Okay.
No, the cocaine is for going up. The weed is for going down. That's the way that we.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what I hope. Claudia was hoping she was going down tonight.
That was the other night. Remember?
Oh, that was the other night. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. So it interests me though. Do you watch like a movie?
South Park, absolutely.
Funny, yeah.
Or it's always my go-to. But if Spaceballs is on, and now that it's on Netflix, I will watch that.
Really?
3 days.
That's your go-to.
Absolutely.
How about Half Baked? What about Half Baked with Chappelle?
Half Baked's all right. It's not. I like way more stupid humor, and so Spaceballs.
Superbad, was that funny for you?
Superbad was fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
One of my favorite movies. Superbad.
Although
McLovin.
We were just watching that last night, and it's not fun to watch with your 12 and 14-year-old. That is definitely not. That movie is little embarrassing.
Which movie?
Superbad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My wife, we put it on. I forgot how bad it was.
Every turn. How could you fucking forget that movie?
My God. I didn't forget it. I just forgot how intensely inappropriate it was.
Yeah, you're like, oh, honey, Daddy loves this movie. It's really funny. And then like 15 minutes in, you're like, never mind. We're gonna go watch The Little Mermaid. Let's go put that on.
I did that shit with my wife. I'm like, I put on Gridiron Gang for my sons. I'm like, it's Disney. It's Gridiron Gang. It's The Rock. They're gonna learn lessons, right? The first scene is a gun fucking killing right in the fucking guy's head. I'm like, you're my wife. They're like, fuck this motherfucker, shoot his ass. Boom, boom, boom. People are getting murdered. My sons are like watching. My wife comes, what are you showing them? What do you do? I go, it's The Rock.
The new Trolls.
That was the worst. That was the worst. Yeah, we had to switch real quick to the Troll movie or something like that. What's your go-to? Let us know at the Tape Never Lies Network. I gotta say this real quick, and I'll lose whatever troll. I don't give a fuck. This show on HBO, Lovecraft. Oh my God, it is must see. Shayne, you got to check this show out. I love like it's that kind of supernatural and stuff like that. I love it. There's a lot of fucking twists and turns. I love that kind of stuff. It's definitely, if you like sci-fi and twists and turns in a story, you got to check Lovecraft out. I try to give you guys
Fargo on FX.
Fargo's yours. You keep telling me that. Chris Rock is on it. Yeah. How many seasons is that?
Well, it's 4, but each season is its own story, so you don't need to watch the other seasons.
Oh, so it's
good.
like what's that? True Crime. What was that one on HBO with the crime? Anyway.
Oh, True Crime. Yeah.
Yeah. Each one of those is different. True Detective. That was it. True Detective.
But Fargo is another good show to watch if anybody's.
I'll check it out. I know Shayne is ready. Go ahead, Shayne. That was our little side conversation. Is that Matthew McConaughey's cousin? He got beat up.
That was Brad after he left Nashville.
Is that herpes on his lip? What's going on?
It is. It's ever since he left us.
The lips. Remember his pic with the lip?
Stop on the way home.
Yeah. That was you remember the picture with him and JJ?
This is JJ.
This is the one that's not doctored. Yeah,
How many patrons do we have now? Anthony Kaczynski. Anthony's a Patreon.
Yeah.
One of our best. Let me tell you right now how many we have.
436.
436. 4 Jerome Bettises. That's what we got. 4 Jerome Bettises. Remember 36 on the fucking Bears? Marshall? Remember they picked that kid up from LSU? Yeah. I thought that kid had something special, man, if he didn't get injured. Anyway.
You're thinking of, I don't think it was LSU. Didn't he play at Miami?
No, he played at LSU, I think. Maybe I could be wrong.
Didn't they draft him in like the 7th round?
No, they didn't draft that kid.
Oh, they didn't?
This was back in the Wani days. The Wani, it was a bigger safety, number 36.
Yeah, no, I know exactly who you're talking. Now you're going to make me look. While we do that, I guess we could let
I thought they drafted a kid named Marshall from Miami at one point in the 7th round of safety.
Probably did, but this kid was undrafted, and he worked his way into starting, and he never really got a chance. Claudio's gas.
And again.
Jesus, you better get that butthole checked out there, buddy.
I got a follow. I got another follow on Twitter. Chi-Town GAKA. There we go.
You got to put your Claudio the Barber. You got to put your Twitter at there.
I did. I had it. I don't know what happened to it.
Jesus.
When I came back in,
Anthony Marshall.
Anthony Marshall. That was it.
Didn't he go to? I thought he went to Miami.
LSU.
Really? I don't know.
Yes.
Look at Phil showing me up.
It's 1 point me, 0 point Shayne. JJ beat me though. Look at Claudio frozen. Anyway, 436. We're trying to work to 500 patrons. Get over there. Now let's go to this. Shayne, finish us off with your bold prediction and your prediction.
I overall think that this team is trending in the wrong way, but just when you think that's going to happen, this is the team that'll show up on a Monday Night Football game out of nowhere. I think that this defense is in Kirk Cousins' head. I think this defense is going to have even closer of a bond now because this is, what's going on offense is just getting, it's amateur hour at best at this point. So I think that the defense is going to play the best game that we've seen all year. I think that they're going to be suffocating. I think that they're going to be ready to go. And I think that the Bears are going to come out and show at least a little sign of life. Maybe Nagy did hand over play calling to Bill Lazor. Maybe that's the change that they need. I'm not saying it's going to be an offensive explosion, but I think that the Bears are going to surprise some people here in this game. And I have the Bears actually scoring 27 points. There's going to be one defensive scorer in there. I was going to give it to Roquan until Cars yanked it from me. But
Suck it, Trebek.
yeah, I'll do a repeat on defense. You know, the Bears are going to come out in their orange uniforms, and last time they did that versus Minnesota at home in a primetime game, Eddie took one back. So I'm going to say Eddie Jackson takes another one back versus Kirk Cousins. That's going to ignite all 14 people in the stands, and it's gonna be lit in Soldier Field. But I think that the offense actually ends up having a respectable outing, and it's going to be very un-Chicago Bear-like. So I didn't give you my score yet, did I? I just said
No.
27-16 Bears win.
Nice.
Wow. That's leaving the best for last, or no, the worst for last. Last week I was close to getting Kyle Fuller pick 6. That was a tough play. I thought, looking at it on the tape, he probably should have caught it. Looking at it on the TV copy, I was like, maybe it was too hard. But then watching the tape, if you haven't seen, or you're not a patron member, you're not getting to see the all defense and offense breakdown. If you want that, go over there. 45 and a half minutes of tape analysis and coaching, both sides of the football, and some special teams. A breakdown. Did you know they did a drop onside kick, Cars? They dropped it. You have to hit the tip of the ball. The nose of the ball has to hit the ground.
Just the tip, Claude.
Just the tip, Claudio. And then you have to kick it. And you can literally kick it anywhere, and it will go. So they tried. It wasn't successful, but it was kind of historic. I haven't seen the drop onside kick in a long, long time. So let's see where that goes. Robbie Gould was horrible at the onside kick, right?
Oh, he's terrible. That's why we cut him. Yeah, that's 100%.
That was Pace's. That was Pace's theory.
If I
Him
can't
and
have
Fox.
a guy who can't squib kick, then I'm out.
Did you ever see the documentary on the coach who, the high school coach, all he does is onside kick every time. Every time they play, and he has statistical numbers of winning this. And he teaches this style where you kick the ball. It's like Roberto Baggio, Claudio. Kick the side of the ball and it spins. It's definitely, you got to look it up.
I know a soccer player's name, Phil.
Oh, I know a few of them. I don't hate soccer.
You're a closet soccer fan.
No, that is not the truth. I cheer for Liverpool for my boy John Bradley from England. He's the voice of Liverpool, and they are back-to-back champs, I think. So there you go. Anyway,
I have no idea if that's right, but we'll go with it.
They did win the championship, and I think they're in it again. So I'm close. Anyway, my prediction for this game.
That wasn't me.
I'm surprised you let it go that long before.
Oh, I was waiting on it.
Yeah.
I didn't touch it. I left it. My prediction. Oh, jeez. Rugby style kicking, ladies and gentlemen. Rugby style kicking. I don't believe in the Bears offense. I can't get behind this coach. Too many times you're putting this team in situations where you're just overwhelmed. So for me to truly be honest, I can't see the Bears turning this around this week. So where I totally think our defense is going to have a say in this and everything you guys are saying, you got to play some sort of offense. And right now it's broken. You're not going to have Montgomery. I don't know the COVID with the center and that whole situation. It's scary. So I don't know how I would pick the Chicago Bears.
Have
they've been playing.
They haven't ruled him out yet, though, right? Montgomery?
He's in concussion protocol.
Right.
Yeah,
so I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah, if he's out tomorrow, there's zero chance.
I don't think he's going to play.
Well, didn't Nagy say he has a concussion? He said it.
Yeah,
he's in the protocol. Yeah,
he's definitely in the protocol. He gave you that truth.
But nobody's talking about him holding his fucking arm and shoulder out of fucking socket when he was walking off the field.
I don't know if that was like a stinger.
It could have been, but man, it looked just like
a shot to the head.
Yeah, what do they say when you shoulder it? What is it? It's sublex, I think they call it when it pops up. But I mean, I've had a major shoulder injury just like you have, Phil, and you know that's the. I mean, you have anything like that,
Definitely
you're walking,
too.
absolutely,
Yeah, definitely. That was
and for a physical, a guy that runs as physical as he does, that's a big time issue.
There's no way. Nagy hasn't checked in on him yet.
Yeah.
Chris Sandlin, well done. Well played, Chris.
It's nobody's business.
It's nobody's business. He hasn't been ruled out. We'll let you know more. We haven't checked on him, though. So I'm going to predict the Vikings 17-9.
0.0.
I was a little late on that one, I admit.
17-9 Vikings. My bold prediction: Cairo Santos hits all 3 of his field goal attempts.
I tried that one last week, man. I said 5.
Isn't it weird where the most positive thing we have about offense is our kicker, and our punter after last week?
We've come full circle, yes. I mean, there's positives truly on defense. Like, if the Bears defense goes out there and dominates like they should, then they're definitely, with short fields, you want to see this offense. But I can't predict in my heart that this offense is going to be even in the vicinity of competitive. So that's where, and if I've never been a Dalvin Cook guy, he doesn't do it against the Bears, but he's been running hard, and their offensive line is firing out. So let's see.
There's 3 wins he has over 100 yards, and most of their losses he's under 100 yards, right? So, I mean, he's the bellwether for him.
We're going to bring our boy John Bradley on at some point, who's the voice of Liverpool soccer team for Stephen Nageshi. I don't know about Speaking Soccer. That might be a whole different show. That's not my show. Claudio might have to do that, but anyway.
I love it, bro. Not that much.
Keep your predictions coming. Keep your predictions coming. Real true, honest show tonight. We had JJ Stankevitz killing it. Real heated discussion, passion. You had it all tonight. We had the fans, the Patreons helping me out. Ivan, my boy Andre, my boy Nichols. Who else? My son Tate was in there. Chris Sandlin, who gave us the nice joke. John Nickrone, also a Patreon. Who else am I forgetting that was in that great? Oh, Andrew Brown, Shayne, number 68 on the Patreon. He told me he might get a 68 jersey just because of his love for this network. If you guys love this network, please leave a good, positive review on the podcast channel if you're listening there. Fight back against the trolls. Go after these fucking trolls. Do it for your guys. Do it for your country. Do it.
Playoffs?
Yeah, don't talk about the playoffs. Do it for this guy.
We're at Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, 2 things. Who do you have behind Mustafa, who has played center before? And also, with such a makeshift line Sunday, how willing are you to kind of simplify the offense to just kind of make sure you establish a foundation, or knowing your DNA, is that just not going to happen?
Oh, yeah. Only from you, Mark.
And Mark was right. And Mark, you saw the coach laugh. 52 passes later, Mark was right. It was a great show, guys. You know what we do now, Claudio.
No, we don't, because I don't have it ready yet, so hold on.
Oh, jeez. Shayne actually did it to start the show, right?
What did I do?
You had the
Oh, yeah.
So how's the weather by you guys out there?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Unseasonably hot, Cars.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring someone on tonight, but
Oh my God, get the fuck out of here. It's not this show.
not this show. I wanted to shout out this lady, Thunder Girl. Give her some prayers. I think her brother or
Husband,
her
I believe, right?
Husband, yes.
Phil almost took that in a really odd, awkward direction.
No, I was trying to remember. I'm trying to get people
I
to
know.
send some positive energy Thunder Girl's way. She's also a Patreon.
Yes, she is. She was in the first 99.
Look at that. So
She's
send
got a-
some positive. Hit the like buttons. Fight against the trolls. Do some nice things this week as we prepare. We're going to be live this Sunday on Bears Hour Live.
This is racist. White Music Studios. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Where's that? White Music Studios.
Way to go, Claude.
What's going on here, Claudio?
This is the music that you.
We can't hear it. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Imagine. It was his brother. He's still in the hospital.
Oh, it was brother. There you
on
go.
the ventilator. So seriously, in all seriousness, send him a shout out. Also, shout out this guy who's fighting COVID himself, Alex Acevedo. He's
Not sure that was supposed to be public knowledge, but I guess it is now, Phil.
I didn't know I
Jesus.
couldn't share it.
Wow.
And now we see why Matt Nagy doesn't. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Retract that.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't know.
Up next, Phil's going to talk about politics and burn the entire network to the ground.
Listen, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to send love.
Phil has gotten all of our doctors to send over our most recent physicals to him, and he's going to be reading the reports on air.
Look, there you go. He says it's all good. We're good. HIPAA, woo? HIPAA what? There you go. All right. Cars, you always start us off. You got any shout outs?
So first I have to shout out my wife who has been fighting COVID for the last 10 days. So
Oh, I didn't even know. See?
yeah.
I would
She
have told
goes-
her.
See? Cars shared that with me. Cars, now you know I kept my word.
So yeah, so I'm hopeful. I don't know about anybody, but keeping your two small children away from their mother
Oh my
for an
God.
extended period of time while trying to work, while trying to keep a kid in school. Yeah, it's a
Cars'
not a fun
children,
situation.
also big Edibles fans.
How do you think we enforce that time sometimes around here? Some dads do a little Jack Daniels on the gums. Oh no, Daddy's got a special trick. Anyway, so shout out there. Shout out to everybody who's been really engaged recently in Twitter. It has been kind of a minefield of shit. But I'm going to basically forget about the Bears after Monday and think about my Bulls until Wednesday, and then get around it. So those are my shout outs for the week.
I like your shout outs. Send your wife, Stephanie, my best. Seriously. COVID is no joke. Wear your masks. Don't be ignorant. You're not bigger than the virus. Trust me. Till it hits home, don't be that fucking guy that gets humble pie. Spencer Strong segment to our boy Ryan Cox. Claudio, the barber.
Yeah, I got a couple. Of course, my wife and kids always putting up with my shit.
Getting up with your shit.
I'll shout out Anthony Kaczynski in the chat. I had to time him out.
Oh, he's a great dude.
Yeah, but I had to time him out because he said something political, because maybe Phil says something political. So, but again, I'm going to reiterate, just try to keep politics out of the chat. So I won't want to put you in timeout. Chubbs, 52 or whatever it is. You're always putting some good, comments up there. I wanted to shout you out. Sherry Lady Bear, always also.
Cherie.
Cherie. Chuck and Lydia Loring. They put up a couple.
Love that.
Couple good ones. And I'm gonna shout out he said he was gonna be watching a new customer of mine. I call him the drive-through customer because my shop
actually, when you go through the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru, you can see my shop. That was the whole point of me moving here. I got a lot of eyes on it.
I gotta go in for my coffee.
Going through the drive. What's that?
I gotta go in for my coffee and film it.
But this guy's going through the drive-thru. He sees me in there. He's like, "Yo, cut me up." I'm like, "Come on in." He came in with his son. It was awesome. His name is Chris Florio. So I'm shouting you out, bro. And he said he's gonna watch. And he said his buddy's a big Bears fan. And I'm like, dude, you gotta watch your show if your buddy's a Bear fan. So, I want to shout him out. So there you go. Those are my shout outs.
Look at you, stepping up like Ariel Cologne's little bitch ass trolling.
Yes.
Shayne, you have it? You got the energy back? You got your shout outs?
No, I'm always working. I have tons of energy. I'm just always working behind the scenes. Yeah, I'm just going to shout out our patrons, of course, everybody that showed up tonight. Phil and I have been on live for, 3.5 hours here. We were 2 hours earlier today. So that's been fun and eventful. But it was very productive. I had a great time doing it, man. I thought that our first official pop-up Q&A show went over great. It wasn't all football. One of the first questions that people asked us was how we met our wives. That was interesting, sharing the background on that. But it's fun sometimes to not just concentrate and take all of this shit here so serious. We can let you guys behind the curtain in our personal lives. Claude, it's only been 20 minutes, Claude. Jesus.
What did he do now?
You never noticed. Look at his name. I changed it 20 minutes ago. And nobody said nothing.
Nobody else noticed it.
I didn't notice it either. I'm keeping it 100. He is the biggest Grossman fan.
But no, that was fun, and I'm looking forward to doing more of that with the patrons and doing what we're doing here. So the whole group's here, and it's going to be another late one on Monday night as we bring BHL to you guys live as soon as the final whistle blows on Monday Night Football. So looking forward to that. Shout out to everybody. It's another interesting week in Bearsville.
Oh yeah, it always is interesting.
And shout out to the Chicago Bulls. Big week next week coming up. Talking about a team that's going down the right path, heading in the right direction. Cars and I are both huge Chicago Bulls fan, and it's fun to have that confidence back in basketball and believing in a team. The Bears are kicking us in the nuts, but the Bulls are there to pick us up a little bit. So big draft coming up next Wednesday night, and I'm looking forward to it.
Look at you.
And all it took was a ownership change and a new general manager and complete new front office. So now I think we see the thing. We just need, sadly, Virginia to go away and her kids who have no interest in football whatsoever to be like, okay, I can get paid. And then we can finally have a real football team. It'll be nice.
There's my boy Michael Kinder, all the way in Japan. Remember Mike?
Oh yeah,
the dancer is back. Look at that, Mike. I love it. He's probably dancing to this beat. Let me spit a few bars on this beat. I like it. I don't know if I'll be on time here. Well, it's the 5'7", kind of a small one.
I'm so old and white. I have no idea what on fleek means. Let me Google that for a second.
My eyebrows last night were on
God.
fleek.
Yeah, on fleek.
Oh, who did that? Who's saying that now? Claudio?
No, I said it.
Oh, you put it up there. I thought he did it.
I did.
Rewind the beat. Jesus. I was feeling it. You gotta be on top as you're a producer. I have 3 people that want your job. Seriously.
Well, you don't pay me enough, man, to produce. What the fuck?
You get to fucking hang out to the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru. I pay you in bagels. Anyway, let me shout out Jeff Burton, number 2. Let me shout out my boy Nichols, number 1. You're still number 1. 1. I hope someone knows that song. Someone needs to know that.
Phil went real old school there.
So you know that song?
Come on, man.
I didn't know you knew. Public Enemy. Public Enemy. Still number 1. Coach, how about Bear Truth number 9? Shout him out.
Here comes another copyright infringement. Thank you, Phil.
What, for me rapping the song?
No, Public Enemy is one of the worst ones. It's like literally,
if you just say anything,
a split second, they are all over it.
Are you serious?
100%. Oh my god, it's terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, big time.
I used to love Public Enemy. Yeah. I was gonna rap for a second. Let me feel this beat one quick for my shout out. It has the 5'7". I'm not freestyling here. This was an old lyric. You know what? Fuck you. Don't be jealous.
I'm just glad we got the full thing too. It wasn't even just the taste. It was, no, you're taking the full thing.
Freestyle ever.
All right. I literally come here after every game. It's weird after a loss. It feels good to vent with you brothers. Storm Edwards, you get a shout out from me. Michael Kidner, the dancer from Japan, you guys get a shout out from me. Next time I'll rap. Chuck and Lydia Goring, I saw him today. All the guys that sent me video. How could I forget Chris Bowditch? Bowditch, because I call them Bowditch, or is it Bowditch?
Whatever you normally say, it's the opposite.
How about my boy Ryan 1462 and 2 and 2. Richard Gordon. I already said Josh E, right? But I'm going to give him another shout out because I love that dude. Steven Nagishi. Steven, hopefully you're going to bring the passion to get on BHL. We need it. Tony Solomonski. Guy's been in the chat room bringing it. Evan Wells from Iowa. Thunder Girl, obviously I talked about her earlier. Cherie, always there. A.J. Smith, you gotta shout him out. Ivan, the producer over at Sean and Maya, he's always a big fan of ours, always supporting us. Love that about it. Couple patrons, couple new patrons, Shane, I want to shout them out. Gary Williams, James Willis, Juana Roscoe, Windy City 55, my boy, Zach Garza, Eric Marvin, Jason Grossman reaching out to me on Instagram, Sid Navarro, Nathaniel Green, Jake Harrington, Joseph Kubiak, Stu Lewandowski, Skeet Dog. Skeet Dog signed up, Shane. He's like, this shit is too good. You guys are doing too good for me to not support you. My boy, you saw him in the open. Larry, bringing the Funk Jones. The tape never lies, Shane. The tape never lies. Adrian Hernandez, Cornelius Squalls, Gina Carlson. Love all of you. Shane, there's a new Shane. He just doesn't have a Y.
Doesn't count.
Well, he counts in the number of patrons, I'll tell you that. He is a good dude. Paul Varenti, or Paulie Coasters. And my guy, Kevin KRC Merrick. Love that dude. You guys are always bringing it. Chris Harold, I can't forget you as well. You guys always bring it every week. I hope you enjoyed JJ Stankevitz tonight. You guys deserve. Ralph Tribby, I forgot you in the video. I'm sorry. Ralph, how could I forget the Haitian Nation? I said Anthony, right? Ace, Heather, Chris Sandlin, working on the swag, wearing it. Swag. Well, it's the 5'7", kind of a small one, but I still store bumps. He suckers in doldrums. As I'm speaking, it's gonna change in my English. I quickness to get rich. I like chalk, but not Connecticut in the house, because Connecticut's where I live. That's all I got right now. But I did get to feel the show. Huh? Yeah. Remember the song? You can get. I used to do. You can get your fill, Shane. Past midnight. Stepping a whip, flipping it, fulfilling, be like kicking it. The V to double A, B double O, and when he's hitting it. Rocking it when alone. Round the sip of mother's home and all by myself. I'm getting live like she was Raid on Chong. Flow then yo, clocking, I feel like I was Martin. Starting like I was rocking girls at kindergarten. Got skills, people wanna know what I'm about. Pulling hoes like Clinton, but the beat just went out. It went, skipped. Stop, Chris. You know you're so jealous of my size. Great show tonight. We had a little fun, spitting some bars at the end. That's what we do here. We'll see you guys Sunday. You might, if you're Patreon, see us over the weekend. Have a little discussion about what's going on. Maybe we'll get an update on Cody Whitehair. Maybe he's healthy. Maybe he's playing. Something. Me and Shayne popping up for you, getting it together. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did. And I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this network.
This has been a Shy City Sports presentation and a Tape Never Lies Network production. Keeping it 100. Thanks for tuning in to the Tape Never Lies Network.
Smoke weed every day.